How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the HR Office Podcast Live. As always, I'm your host, Greg. We got Mira. Say hello.
Is that funny?
The timing. Literally, I hit record and it went...
Because I didn't want to interrupt you while you're talking.
It's all good. We got Mira who fell off camera. Say hello.
Boom.
And we got May, the purveyor of snacks. Say hello.
Hello.
Y'all should share that microphone. Don't hug the microphone, Mira. Share the microphone with me.
What?
Let's say because you can move the microphone that way. Welcome to Professional Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I mean, as professional can be. So usually we like to start off with, an article or going right on into the topics of today. I mean, today we're going to be covering Marvel and Sony making a deal. Christopher Eccleston, who was the Ninth Doctor, is finally talking about his shitty experience on set, but that he still loves the character, and fans are still giving him shit for it. Last of Us 2 had a bunch of stuff, that's a follow-up. There's a lot of follow-ups. Yu Yu Hakusho, My Hero starts next week. May saw Bunny Girl Senpai. We have some exclusive news on the front of HentaiCon, and that may be fucking ripperonis and pepperonis. I finished Amnesty, which is the Adventure Zone Amnesty. Wendy's made a tabletop RPG game. We got a bunch of memes, and we're going to be chatting about I Love You, Colonel Sanders, the video we did on yesterday as we streamed this. Or
on yesterday?
I was going to say on Monday because I'm thinking of when it goes up on Hardest Reset. And we're also going to talk about that explosive end to the last session of the Homebrewers.
Oh. And
there is an elephant in the room that may or may not need addressing at some point. But let's start with the meme. So I'm just going to start playing this. Well, I'm going to explain this video real quick and then we'll start playing it. So there is some.
The audio works this time?
I made sure the audio worked. We're all good to go. So there are these rainbow stairs.
They're pretty.
Very pretty stairs. But this guy doesn't want anything to do with the rainbow or the homo. So, he decided to do this instead. He decided to just try to...
May's shaking her head
He's
already.
having such a hard time climbing those stairs.
And people are looking over at him, too. They're like,
what the fuck is this guy doing?
The fuck, mate?
He stops. I didn't notice the stop.
He fucking...
And then now he's about to climb the fucking rail. Woo! Parkour! May, you're a God-fearing woman.
You couldn't even say that with a straight face.
I couldn't say that with a straight face.
Straight face.
Well, that's like the joke at Spirit Halloween, where it's like when you were kissing my shoulder, it's like, yeah, we gotta push the heterosexual agenda, totally. But man, you are a God-fearing Christian woman. Do you even step foot on the rainbow stairs?
Because they're
for
just...
the sake of convenience?
They're just stairs. They're literally just colored stairs.
This dude literally acts like...
So, my question is, are the words on there supposed to be for LGBT? Is that what that means?
LGBT?
Yeah, is that what the stairs are for? Like the words on the stairs? Is that what... Oh, okay.
They're in support of LGBT.
Oh, okay.
So they're
LGBT positive things.
They're the stairs to sin, as I like to call it, because I'm a God-fearing Christian man.
Are you though?
Well, I'll tell you who's not a God-fearing Christian man is this goose.
Which one?
All of the goose.
All of the goose.
All of the goose.
Geese.
All of the geese.
I can kind of relate to that, Mom, because if that was just me with these geese, I'd be scared too. Geese are no joke.
They're assholes.
They're mean.
Assholes.
They're legit mean.
I got a lot of other Untitled Goose Game memes that we'll be talking about later, but I wanted to open with Give Us the Child.
Yeah, it's okay. Roosters are assholes too.
Roosters are cocks.
Did you know hippos can kill you? They're actually really mean.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that? So
no wonder why Keith likes them.
So legit, hippos are actually very aggressive,
They're
and
very
if
aggressive.
you go near one, they get really angry and they will kill you.
Really?
Hippos are not nice.
That's crazy.
You've heard of hungry hippos? Now get ready for angry hippos.
Yo, shout out to Brohan, who actually subscribed at tier 1, which I don't know if we had.
We have tiers?
Apparently we have tiers.
Well, we do when you cry. Wow, Greg after
Very.
that.
Twitch has tears.
Twitch has tears, yeah.
I'm sure it was crying when I had that hack.
It was crying when that Twitch hack happened, which is
Bad
wild.
touch, bad touch, bad touch.
Bad touch, bad touch, bad touch. Well, there's one last meme I want to open with. It's an oldie but a goodie.
Oh no.
I forgot about this. So this was back when Vine was a thing.
Oh,
And
no.
I'd wondered where the clip came from. And then voice actress Jessica Cavella posted the
Of
full
course.
clip recently of this dude with a fucking keyboard singing one of the best songs ever. And it's pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a fucking jam, dude.
I like his outfit.
That
actually.
outfit's fucking killer, dude.
Yeah, I've never seen this video.
What is this song?
It's just a guy saying, everybody knows shit. Fuck!
Yeah.
That's all he's saying.
As I was saying, that's
It's
the
hard
It's-
to understand
It's
what
a
he's
great,
saying.
it's a great, well, I only knew what he was saying because way back.
Anxiety.
Yeah. I thought opening with a couple memes to kind of break the ice and get the podcast going was a lot of fun. Top tier memes, low tier memes, Twitch tier level memes.
We are mid to low level.
We're on the mid to low level of this meme. Amazing fashion. Brohan just said amazing fashion sense, my guy. It was just that dude looks fucking awesome. That fucking
He's
really,
very comfortable with himself.
he
okay?
really
That's
is.
gonna be my next Halloween costume next year.
Oh my god, I should dress up as him for Halloween.
No, you should be Greg, Lord of the Elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to be Greg, Lord of all elements. I really
And
do.
then we need to tweet at Seth Everman and let him know.
I'll be like, I am Greg, Lord of all elements.
Just stare
I
at the camera.
still love his Billie Eilish How to Make Bad Guy video, where he dressed himself up as Billie Eilish and he played the
And
couch.
hit
Who the fuck is Billie Eyelash?
I love it. Who the fuck is Billie Eilish? I love that a lot. Okay, well, let's actually jump on into some actual topics and shit like that. Okay. Topic number 1. Apparently, I have a Wells Fargo membership because
Wait,
I just
what?
got a text message from Wells Fargo saying there's some suspicious activity on your card, but I don't have Wells Fargo.
Could they have opened one in your name, maybe?
That means free money for me. Shit. Okay.
Mm.
No, I got that. I'm like,
Might be spam.
might be spam.
I keep getting spam emails that my
Yeah.
Amazon account's compromised. And I know it's a spam.
Yeah, you
I
know
know
it's
it's a spam
spam, yeah.
because the sender of the email is gibberish. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
Someone tried that with my Etsy account.
Oh, you have an Etsy account? I had no
I
idea.
have an Etsy account.
I
Yeah.
buy things. I
Yeah.
don't make things.
Yeah. That's where I bought my decals and stuff.
But no, like
Oh, that's right. You can
they-
get an
they-
account to buy shit.
they
That's
were
right,
they were
yeah.
trying to basically say like there's a survey I could take to
Oh yeah.
earn points or something, but they didn't have my name in the email, and I emailed
Okay, yeah.
and I emailed support. I was like, "Is this legit? Because this seems fishy." And they're like, "No, we always use your name in the emails. Delete that. Don't reply to it."
One last meme I want to start off with. I'm going to read you the name of this Hard Times article. Woman wearing NASA t-shirt has never even been to space.
I've seen that.
Oh yeah, I think I sent that to you.
You sent that to me. That was pretty. I'll show it for the.
That'd be fitting, like, for you, Mira, because
Yeah.
I wore NASA.
You have your
today.
NASA shirt, yeah, just for people to see.
I wore that.
Hard
earlier.
Times has been on a tear this last 6 months.
I like the woman smuggles weed into Fest.
In the fest by eating entire stash in security line. Holy shit.
So you loudly
Pronounce Sophie and Stevens wrong in a record store. Here's how to leave town and start a new life. My favorite one is still the one with the tickets, the movie tickets.
The Ticketmaster.
Oh yeah,
Ticketmaster is so favorite.
the $6 fuck you fee.
Yeah.
How dare you look me in
Yeah,
the eye?
Yeah, you buy this.
My
fucking-
favorite one recently came out was we recently ranked all Grateful Dead albums and they all came in last.
We'd still rather hear the sounds of ourselves screaming.
So we did just that.
We did just
We
that.
screamed.
And it was better.
It was better. It was better. Anyway, let's get into some actual discussion tops right now. Yeah, so what about your social security number is what Brohan said. Well, the social security number is 0000000. No, I'm kidding.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
That's
Okay.
my social.
That's a pretty great social. No, first topic. So we talked about it, I think it was last podcast we finally, or the podcast before that. There's an update in Sony, Disney, Spiderman stuff, and Spiderman is back in the MCU. May, how excited are you?
Yay.
Mira, excited are you?
Mom and Dad talked it out.
Mom and Dad talked it out. They're not divorcing, and they're staying together for the kids. Quite literally, they're staying together for the kids. I'm happy. I'm really happy, and my mind is blown as to how much of a impact Tom Holland seemed to have. Because there was a bunch of articles basically saying, yeah, if it wasn't for Tom Holland, this deal would not have been struck.
Yeah.
I'll go to Mira on this one. How do you feel about hearing how involved Tom Holland was?
Good. Means he loves the character.
That is very true. May, what do you think when you were hearing that Tom Holland? Because like it's weird to hear that an actor can love a character, but it's like when it's gone, there's nothing I can do. But he clearly loved it that much. But I literally asked what you thought and then gave what I thought. So what did you think when you were hearing all this stuff?
What you guys? I'm just piggybacking on what you guys pretty much said.
It's really cool. And then in other good Marvel news, let's see if I can find a photo of it really quick. But they finally revealed what the Infinity Saga DVD set looks like.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh?
Yeah, let me bring that up. Marvel Infinity Saga box sets.
Live Googling.
Yeah, they just recently showed
I don't know
off.
if it's going to be the same one I saw, or if it was just a prototype they had. In the meantime. I'll see right now.
There was one I saw that had every single disc out, and they were all different colors.
Oh, man.
There it is.
Whoop, there it is.
There it is, my dude. Open image, new tab. So this is like a cover from a YouTube video, and I'll go ahead and... So... There's...
Oh, they changed it.
Oh!
Yeah, let me show that for everyone right now.
Because originally, I think the first one they had, it was just the gauntlet.
It was just the gauntlet, yeah. But they updated it. Yeah.
Well, this one's also got signatures on it, so maybe this is a special edition
probably,
version.
Yeah.
I like how the spines...
Dave Down Under.
Shout out to Dave Down Under, YouTuber Dave Down Under. No, that was the one because that was
Dave Lee.
Dave Lee Down Under. That was the image, the actual image with all the discs. That's the one I ended up seeing.
Yeah.
Which, look at all of those
I wonder how much
discs.
it's going to be, because I kind of want to buy it.
There's still no price yet.
Leg.
Well, let's go around for a moment. May, how much do you think this thing is going to cost?
I'm going to say $600.
$600? Fair. Mira, what do you think? How much do you think this is going to cost?
How many DVDs are in this?
That is 22 Marvel
That's
movies. It's all the Infinity Saga.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's signatures on there too. I don't know how they probably are legit, right?
Well,
these
also
signatures?
because
They probably print the signatures on, but they probably
signed
signed
it.
well, there's also
the first one.
there's also Blu-ray and 4K.
Blu-ray and
in
4K,
this.
yeah.
So that's definitely gonna jack the price up.
That is very true.
600 seems fair.
Yeah.
Can I say I like Mark Ruffalo's signature?
Mark Ruffalo's signature.
It's a nice signature. Scarlett's is really fancy.
Robert Downey.
Chris
Jr.
Evans.
Chris Evans, I can tell
it's
that.
just you see the C and the E, and then just a bunch of scribbles.
You can tell which one RDJ is.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, because it's his name. It's like, well, yeah.
It's literally.
Literally his name.
But I like, Mark Ruffalo's is nice.
It's pretty.
What do you think, Greg?
I don't want to be the cop out, but 600 seems like a good.
Yeah.
Like I think 600 was a really good. I would say
500 would probably be the low ball.
500 would be if it was just a DVD set. But like you gotta look like you get like all this bonus shit.
You get a Blu-ray
You get a
and you get
Blu-ray
the box
and 4K.
You get the box for all of them.
That's signed.
Box, it's signed. Yeah, that's signed print.
So is it just?
And that's not even counting shipping.
Yeah.
So for the signed part, is that just the original OG Avengers? Is that?
Yeah, it's the OG
Yeah.
Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's RDJ, Scarlett Johansson,
Mark
Ruffalo,
Chris.
Jeremy Renner, and the two Chris's.
Chris Evans.
The two
and Chris
Chris's.
Hemsworth.
The two Chris's, basically.
And there's a bunch of Toms too.
And a bunch of Toms, absolutely. Let's see, what else do we got? What was my next topic? I completely blanked. Oh, I was trying to find the article for the next topic. I gotta scroll back up a little bit. So, New York Comic Con's going on right now, and around
Today's the last day.
Today's the last day of New York Comic Con, the day that we're streaming this. There's been some really interesting stuff happening, and I noticed it actually a few months prior. So people who are familiar with Doctor Who knows who Christopher Eccleston is. And for those who don't, Christopher Eccleston was the 9th Doctor. He was the first Doctor in the reboot of Doctor Who. It has been notorious that he, after he did his one season, has not been in anything Doctor Who related since. And he's kind of really been vocal about his dislike of the production of it, but has stayed relatively vague until recently. And the first thing that I realized was they have that, was it Gallifrey 1 con?
They got him as a guest.
They announced him as a guest, which when I saw that I went, that's fucking huge.
I'm pretty sure now everyone's like freaking out. Got whoever likes him. They're
Well,
now rushing to get tickets because
yeah.
I know Nicole. She was freaking out.
She's losing her shit because she's like, he's finally going to a Doctor Who related
That's the
event.
first time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And his season was what, 2005?
His season was 2005. It's 14 years ago. Which is crazy to think that was rebooted 14 years ago.
Right.
Mira showed me an article because Chris Eccleston was at New York Comic Con this weekend.
For what?
Just doing panels. He's starting to run the convention circuit finally.
That's good.
And he's finally starting to talk about his time on Doctor Who and kind of...
wasn't he the bad guy in Thor the Dark World?
He was the bad guy in Thor the Dark World, which the
It's
crazy
a
part
damn
was...
shame.
Yeah, I know, right? But it was crazy because he was doing press for that when the Doctor Who 50th anniversary thing was happening, and he was dodging all the Doctor Who questions.
I remember that.
Yeah. He's been saying a lot of stuff. Like, he was saying as far back as 2005, he believed there should have been a female Doctor. And that, was talking about how the fans have really helped him kind of really open back up to his experience and whatnot. And let me find what he said at New York Comic Con because he had some really interesting stuff to say. So the article, this is from Radio Times. It said Christopher Eccleston says he sacrificed professional pride by not doing a second series of Doctor Who. Christopher Eccleston took the stage at New York Comic Con on October 3rd and spoke frankly about why he quit the BBC sci-fi show after a single series, detailing clashes with the members of the production team. This is Eccleston talking. I left because my relationship with the showrunners, Russell T. Davies, and the producers broke down. It was the politics of the show, he said. I left only because of those three individuals and the way that they were running the show. I loved playing the character and I loved the world. That's one of the reasons why I started doing these conventions, to make it clear I loved playing the Doctor. He continued, I felt I'm going to play the Doctor my way and I'm not going to get involved in these politics, and that wasn't workable, so off I went. He also detailed that after he left Doctor Who, he got blacklisted from BBC.
Yeah, I read about that. He couldn't get in anything for a while.
He got blacklisted for a few years because of the way that he left Doctor Who. And that it nearly ruined his career. And then he got that John Lennon biopic. What? A biopic is like a movie about a famous person when he played John Lennon.
John Lennon?
Yeah, he played John Lennon, and he did that for the BBC in 2010, which is when he slowly started getting work again, and then he got in Thor the Dark World and started doing a bunch of other stuff. But good for him for finally coming back and like actually finally reaching out to Doctor Who fans who've wanted to see him and hear him speak for so long.
How do you feel about it? Because I know that's your favorite.
Chris Eccleston was my favorite Doctor, and it makes me, when he would not talk about being on Doctor Who, and I kind of was hearing some of the rumored stuff that had gone on, I kind of went, I know this is rumored stuff, but I don't blame him for not wanting to talk about it. And I actually got really annoyed with the fans. And in fact, I'll get into the backlash he's facing now in a moment. But he faced a lot of backlash, and I remember like taking to social media going like, guys, get off his dick. Like not exactly in those words, but basically it's like, dude, chill out. Like he, unlike Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, he had a really bad time on that set, and it caused clashes. And he also detailed in this at New York Comic Con that like he was so angry at the way that those three production people were treating the staff, and he's like, it wasn't fair to the staff either. But I think
Moffat in particular is notorious for being
Moffat,
bad at that.
yeah, he's really taken some shots at Stephen Moffat in the past as well.
Well, because Moffat was such a fucking misogynist during his show run that you could just see which ones he was in charge of.
He straight up said that after he felt like that the Doctor should have been killed off, and he felt Billy Piper should have taken over as the lead role.
And he said
and
he would
really shake up Doctor Who.
And he said he would have been her companion if she were.
Yeah, he said he would have been the companion if Billie Piper would have been the Doctor instead of Rose, if I remember correctly.
God, can you imagine?
That would be fucking insane.
Rose is the Doctor?
I mean, I loved Rose. Rose was my favorite companion in Doctor Who. She was great. You know, not to diminish any of the other companions, so there were some good companions in Doctor Who.
Amy.
Amy was great. Amy and Rory were fucking fantastic, and their end was really tragic. But like bittersweet, but tragic, but bittersweet, but
they
tragic.
were together in the end.
They at least ended together in the end, but it not without a lot of fucking tragedy with those two. Donna was pretty great too. Donna was pretty awesome as well. But it's like it's the same reason why I love Chris Eccleston as the Doctor. You know, Rose was my first companion. Eccleston was my first Doctor, and the fact that Eccleston's finally doing these conventions has been pretty cool. What about you guys? We'll start with May. Like, what do you think about him finally doing this, like going to conventions and talking about this?
Well, for the convention part, that's good because I know there's a lot of people who've been wanting to meet him forever. Yeah. I guess it's just interesting to hear.
Right. Yeah.
To hear his side of the story, see what's going on. I mean, to be honest, I never really kept up with it.
No, I
liked him as an actor. You know, I liked him in Doctor Who, but he wasn't my favorite really, so that's why I didn't really keep tabs on it. I was like, oh, that sucks that he left. And
it's a missing piece of the puzzle that we finally have, I would say, which has been interesting. What about you, Mira?
I'm just glad he's finally opening back up on the con floor.
Yeah.
Like, for all the fans that were like bitching at him and giving him all this shit, there were so many fans that were just like, no, he was my favorite, no, he was my first, blah blah blah.
Yeah. My thing is seeing all the fans with him talking about this shit now that are still giving him shit. Like, I saw a comment about, I think it was on like an IGN article, there was a comment saying, this press junket is bullshit. He's doing this to save face. He never truly cared about the Doctor Who fans. If he cared, he would have talked about this years ago. And I'm just like, you mean when he was blacklisted from BBC from leaving a show and talking about it was going to make it worse? Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, you want to talk about career suicide?
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
You want to try, especially with, you know, how important BBC is to any... BBC for British actors is like landing on
a network show,
a network television, like on CBS or Fox or ABC or NBC. Yeah, it's like getting blacklisted by NBC, which in turn gets you blacklisted on ABC and then CBS because they talk and it kind of spreads and it's really shitty. But yeah, then I've just been seeing a majority of comments of like, oh wow, like he cares now. It's like, yeah, he probably always did.
Where were they when the Weinstein show was going on? Because by that logic, it's like, well, then people should have been talking about it sooner. It's like, have you ever heard of a power play?
Yeah.
This is literally what it was.
BBC probably had something like, you can't talk about this. I wouldn't doubt that. Like, you know, you're blacklisted, you cannot say shit. I wouldn't be surprised. And even with him speaking now, I'd be surprised if he wouldn't give the full details of his blacklisting. But,
well, also, it's been 14 years.
It's been 14 years, yeah. It's been 14 years, and, like, they've all since moved on. Hardcore. But, I don't know. Chris was my favorite Doctor, and I'm just glad he's finally back. May, you can go on your phone for this topic, because Mira and I...
have my phone.
It's charging her room.
Oh, no. Well, you can sit and pretend like you're interested in this next topic,
because...
because...
You can eat your cookies.
You can eat your cookies. Well, Mira, last podcast... The state of play hadn't happened yet. And we were talking about what we were hoping to see from Last of Us 2. We got a release date, February 21st. We've got May dunking on that cookie.
I just want, honestly... Oh, I'll let you finish.
I was just going to say, like, the way you're dunking on that cookie is the most unique way I've ever seen you dunk on a cookie. That's awesome.
With the bottle that she's got.
It's smart, honestly. Like, I never thought to tilt my milk to the side and... Oh, yeah.
Also
that explains it.
If she had more milk, she could just do it.
Or a wider glass.
Huh.
But we finally have a release date. That Super Ellie collection that sold out in 20 minutes. I wanted that so bad because of the record.
I wanted it for the cosplay.
I know. I'm not going to say how excited are you because I know how excited you are. The question I am going to ask is, what did you think of the trailer? What was your favorite part of the trailer, I should say?
Just seeing how brutal Ellie is now.
Yeah. Some shit's gone down for Ellie.
Also, what the fuck is up with Joel?
Yeah, he looks old as shit, dude. Like, he looks like, you know, he did not age. Like, age has not been nice. I mean, he's had a lot of shit happen to him, but it looks like age hasn't treated him well in the last few years.
You can tell he's seen some shit.
You can tell he's dealt with some shit. Anyway, May, you were going to end up saying something.
I honestly just want the game out so I can just look up spoilers and just keep it to myself. Honestly, keep it to myself until you guys are done. Because I did that with Red Dead 2.
You did that with Red Dead,
because I was never going to play it.
Yeah.
Maybe someday I will.
Red Dead 2 is easily one of my favorite video
just,
games
yeah, it
in
looks
the last 10
interesting.
years. Yeah.
But I honestly want it to come out so I can just look at the spoilers
and be like,
finally know, okay, I know what happens. I'm good now.
Yeah.
I get closure.
Because the main thing you want to know is what's up with Joel.
Joel. I want to know.
That's your
I just
main
want to
deal,
know what happens. Yeah. And then just get closure because I'm probably never going to play the second game. So I played the first one, but I'm never going to play the second one. So for me, closure is just looking at the spoilers.
You want the closure for what happened.
Yeah, I just want to see the spoilers. I want to see what happens. That way I know, and then when you guys are done, I could be like, oh, yeah.
So this happened.
So yeah, you guys didn't expect that thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's
can you believe Tommy was the villain all along? No, I'm kidding. No. I was, the thing that threw me off even more than seeing Joel in the trailer was seeing Tommy in the trailer too. Because I didn't know the state of things. Because I knew they were going back, but I don't know where they were.
Well, at the end of the first game, they were literally up on that hill overlooking the community.
That is true. I guess I just wasn't expecting...
It was just kind of implied that they probably stayed there.
I guess I was just not expecting him to be in the trailer, if that makes sense. Like, not that he's not going to be in the game, but just I wasn't expecting him in the trailer.
It makes sense, though, because Joel has been kind of...
Doing his own thing?
Not really there in most of the trailers, and if he is, it's just like, you don't really know what he's doing there.
Right, yeah.
Because the trailers framed it like he could be dead, and then other trailers are like, they don't even have Joel.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's been interesting. Yeah.
They'll mention him, but he's not there.
He's alive for now.
Asterisk.
For now. Absolutely.
Until proven otherwise.
Absolutely.
We also got the news that this is going to be 2 discs.
Yeah, it's a 2-disc game, which
Red Dead.
That was Red Dead.
It's going to be a big
which
game.
Which means I'm going to have to delete Red Dead to fit fucking Last of Us 2. Shit.
Unless you just delete everything else.
Just delete everything else. It's just going to be Last of Us 2 and...
Once you beat Shadowbringers, you can delete 14.
No!
Just for the time being.
No, we got patches. Yeah. We got patches.
Because if he deletes, he's going to have to read-down the whole thing.
We have to re-download all 4 expansions. Yeah. And that's going to take forever. So I'm good. Don't
Hey,
we're almost done with Shadowbringers.
We have one last quest.
This has been the best.
14's great.
No, that's why I said when he was done, he could do it.
But then if he finishes it once again, it all comes down to he has to download.
There's events. There's patches.
So just delete Red Dead 2.
I'm deleting Red Dead 2. Like, I finished the single player and I haven't really played the multiplayer.
Or how about you get money and you buy a new PS4 with bigger space?
And a not broken
button. PS4 likes to talk to you a lot.
And you know, Black Friday is coming up.
Black Friday is coming
up. I'm excited for those
honestly, I've been thinking about it, like replacing my PS4.
Yeah.
And then
And then getting VR probably.
Get VR, yes. Dude, I can look at gay porn in 3D. Hell yeah, in VR.
I was gonna say now you can play RE7 with VR.
No.
I'll go on dates with Prompto.
Yeah, I go on Prompto dates.
You can play RE2 with VR. No. You can see Mr. X in VR.
No. Remember a couple podcasts ago when I showed that mod with fucking Pennywise?
There you go.
Yeah, no, I don't want that in VR. I don't want that in VR. I don't even want to see Mr. X in VR. Can we just have a mod where Mr. X... Can we just have a mod where Mr. X is modded out to look like DMX?
Can we just have PT brought over and just have that for VR? Can you imagine Lisa in VR?
No! I mean, I can.
Especially now that you know with the camera tracking thing.
I don't want that. I really do. May looks... I mean, no. Babe, you're sleeping on the couch tonight. I am not dealing with this shit. Sorry, May. I'm coming to your defense, my dude.
It's fine. I still have to come into the room to go to the bathroom. So.
Oh, shit.
You can always use
you
mine.
Fucked.
If you want.
You fucked, boy? Hell yeah. I mean, hell no. Here's something you could be excited about. So after 20 years, Yu Yu Hakusho's coming back.
Yay!
Yu Yu Hakusho's got a new OVA. You're leaving now. Where are you going?
Pee.
Oh, you gotta use the restroom. Okay.
I'm doing liquid. difference.
Oh, that is very true. That is very true. So yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho's got a new OVA. What are you excited about for that OVA? Or how excited are you?
Well, really excited. I'm just excited the fact they're gonna dub it.
Right. Yeah.
Because a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, some companies, they'll get new OVAs, they won't even dub it. They'll just sub it and then they'll leave it on like a box set or something with the anime, and then it's a shame because you get used to the English dub voices. Yeah. You know, if you're trash like me and like prefers English dub, then you have to go listen to sub.
Wasn't that the thing with the Dead Man Wonderland OVA was dubbed?
No, it was dubbed. I watched that dubbed. Sengoku Buster, for example. They never dubbed that. Like, I have the box set for that, and I watched it. And, I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I was kind of bummed out it was not dubbed.
I'm noticing more and more, it's just as the changing tide with anime as a whole is OVAs are getting dubbed more and more, which I'm realizing.
I think companies are seeing now it's worth the time and effort, and they have the money and resources to do it. I think,
and also streaming services. You can just throw it on streaming. You don't have to dub it for a box set. You just dub it and be like, hey, why are you waiting for a new season? Go check this out.
Because I think a lot of it too is a lot of times OVAs, they come out later on when the anime's done. So most companies, they probably don't feel like it's not worth the time or the money to dub it. Like, for example, Joker Game. The OVAs came out way after the series was done, and they didn't, obviously Funimation didn't dub it, which I'm still bummed out to this day they didn't dub it, because those OVAs were good.
They looked good,
They were really good.
I don't think I ever watched those.
Involved a cat.
Oh, I remember. I remember you telling me.
I was sitting on the chair watching it, and you guys were like, "Oh, there's May watching her anime."
There's May watching her anime.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah,
Pepperidge Farm.
But yeah, so I think now, especially Funimation, they're seeing like, you know, the time and effort. It is worth it now to dub it, especially because I know this OVA has been out for a while, and a lot of people have been wanting to see it, and whatnot. So
I'm just glad after all these years that, you know, Yu Yu Hakusho is making a big comeback, because I was noticing that there's a lot of merchandise that was starting to be released
it's the 20th anniversary,
which is fucking crazy, right?
Yeah,
which good timing.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad though.
I'm about to say you're really excited. Mira, what do you think about the new OVA being announced that it's going to be dubbed?
It's going to be a little interesting.
I think I know why you think it's going to be a little interesting.
Yeah.
But still, the fact that at bare minimum a majority of the original dubcast, like the OG dubcast, is coming back, like that's like, I
can't wait to hear Yusuke again.
That's gonna be awesome. Like, who played him?
Justin Cook.
That was Justin Cook. Holy shit!
That's what I thought. Yeah.
That was one of his first roles.
Yeah, the first roles I ever heard him in. Yeah, that was Justin Cook. And John Burgermeyer is Kurama, and Chris Sabat.
Chris Sabat as Kuwabara.
Yeah. That's probably why Justin Cook was at Comic-Con this time.
Oh, that's probably
because they're talking about Yu Yu Hakusho.
Well, he's also talking about My Hero as well.
Kirishima.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's already been kind of going around a little bit for My Hero.
I finally saw that quote you guys were talking about, the Kirishima cares.
Kirishima cares.
Yeah, Kirishima cares. Yeah.
I just wanted on a shirt. Kirishima cares.
I mean, he does.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna make that shirt.
I'm gonna make that shirt, and I'm gonna sell it on Etsy for like just $15.
You should make it, cosplay it, and then
cosplay it.
Tweet it at Justin Cook.
I'll be like, Kirishima cares, my dude.
We have blank white shirts in the closet. Just make one and wear it to
Comic-Con. That is very true.
No, you're doing Caleb. That's right.
No, I'm doing Caleb.
Damn it.
I'm doing
What's wrong with Caleb?
I was gonna tell him just wear that for Comic-Con.
I'm also too lazy to shave and be a pretty
boy. Also, didn't you not like?
You could be a Kirishima fanboy.
I don't like my wig.
Well, that was that was last minute. So what could you do?
You could be a Kirishima fanboy. Kirishima cares.
But I want to be Caleb Widowgas, though.
I want you to be Caleb, too.
I want to be Caleb Widowgas. I'm very excited to cosplay Caleb. Caleb Widowgas is what I'm excited to be.
Widowgas.
I want to get people to draw dicks in my bag, in my book again.
In your bag?
In my bag. Just in the bag. Just draw dicks.
Can I draw a happy face?
You can draw a happy face. I'll draw a dick, and you can draw a happy face.
I'm not very good at drawing dicks, so...
You're not really good?
Just make a rocket ship.
And two circular thrusters, like on the bottom.
Ground control to Major Dong.
Oh my god. Ground control to Major Dong, am I right? So My Hero Academia is next week.
We're adults.
Yeah, we are adults. we are all adults who live in the same apartment. So anyway, My Hero Academia is next week. My brain shut off for a moment. My Hero Academia starts on Saturday. I'm gonna be at Self Help Fest on Saturday.
I'm gonna be working.
Yeah, but I'll probably watch
sleeping. Actually, no, I'm not.
She'll be impatiently waiting. Get home.
Yeah. I will be with my mom.
Very true. But yeah, My Hero Academia starts next week. Mira, you have some spoilers from the manga that you know are going to be in this arc.
Mm-hmm.
How concerned are you?
You remember that panel of Deku just with the really worried face during the sports festival? That's me.
Okay. May, are you familiar with anything?
I am. Yep, I know all of
I'm the only one of the three of us that doesn't know anything.
You're like very protective of those. Do not spoil.
Yes.
I'm actually very excited to see it animated because, I want to see it animated on the TV screen. I want to see what direction they go with in the anime.
I'm ready to cry with friends again.
I'm ready to cry with friends again. Very true.
Because there's a couple moments in general that we know is going to happen in this arc that's going to be really upsetting.
Well, you guys know, but I have no.
That's why I looked at her.
Yeah. But it's a wild ride, I'll tell you.
I'm just excited because this is my first season of My Hero that I get to watch with everyone as it's coming out. Because season 3 was done when I finally started catching up with season 3.
Mm-hmm. I remember I watched that as it aired. I managed to get.
I remember, it was My Hero Saturdays for you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The All Might. Oh. The All Might fight.
I remember her losing her fucking mind.
I remember I woke up on that Saturday morning in bed. I watched on my laptop.
Today's gonna be a good day.
Yeah,
today's not gonna be a good day. Not at all.
Today was in fact not a good day.
It wasn't a good day, not at all.
But she was lying.
I'm excited. Apparently, there's a lot of crazy shit that's gonna happen in this arc, and it's going to be insane. And it's same day simul-dub, and that's going to be crazy.
Also, we'll get to finally hear Brandon McKinnis for more than just a second.
Who's he playing?
Night-Eye.
Sir Night-Eye.
Sir Night-Eye.
Who's Sir Night-Eye?
The dude at the very end with the glasses at the computers.
I don't remember.
The hacker guy. I jokingly call him.
Hacker dude, yeah.
Oh, Hacker Man.
That's Brandon McKinnis.
Yeah.
Oh.
You'll see more of him this season.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll know of him. Yeah, I'll know of him way more. Let's see. What else in anime front? So, we're all excited for that. What else in anime front? May, you went to go see the Bunny Girl Senpai movie. Tell us all about that experience and what you thought of Bunny Girl Senpai movie.
It's really good. It's very colorful, very sad, very happy.
Who animates Bunny Girl? Here.
Good question.
I don't
keep talking. I'm gonna go.
I don't know who animates it. Yeah, it was good, colorful, sad, happy.
Sad, happy.
Yeah, you definitely need to watch the show first before you watch this movie because it is a direct sequel.
Oh, okay.
So if you watch it, you'll get spoiled with the show.
Okay.
It's kind of like the My Hero movie.
Yeah.
Where you kind of needed to watch up to a certain point in the.
Oh
anime.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you might not have any idea what's going on.
Yeah, because they said it was between season 2 and 3, so.
Yeah. So at least watch up to there.
Yeah, up to there, and then you can watch it. And then I always tell people to watch that one bonus episode where they had it, where it kind of ties into it. You don't have to, but I just suggest it that way. You can kind of get a little insight.
It helps a little.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. It's a little supplement.
Also, it's just funny to hear Justin Briner and Christopher Sabat plug the movie.
Oh, yeah, watch it.
Oh, that's going to be really interesting. Yeah.
Watch it. And then the next movie's coming out in December. In
they
Japan.
won't know until they go see the movie. Oh, great plug!
Oh, great
You're so
plug.
great all night.
That's fucking funny.
I was like, this is too pure.
So, Cloverworks.
Oh, yes, Cloverworks.
Is the one that does
They're
it.
also animating one of the Fate animes right now,
well,
too.
they rebranded to A1.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
They're the ones that did Darling and the Franxx. They worked with Trigger on Darling and the Franxx. They did Persona 5 the animation, Ace Attorney.
Yep.
Season 2. Yeah, the Fate Grand Order, Absolute Demonic Front, Babylon.
Yeah, the one that's airing right now.
Babylonia,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, what a mouthful.
That is a mouthful, yeah.
That is, I mean, it's for go.
Oh, they also did Promised Neverland.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah,
There
that's
you
right.
go. Yeah.
So,
I need to finish that show.
Apparently I need to give that show a chance, because apparently it's really good.
It's really good. I looked at spoilers for it.
It's creepy.
But it's creepy, but I think it'd be your cup of tea, but it's pretty good.
I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Bunny Senpai's really good. I'm hoping they make another season.
Hell yeah. So you're going to have to help me out on this one, though. So the last thing that I have for
her?
you.
Me?
May.
Okay.
Also, real quick, Demon Slayer is going to be on Toonami.
Demon Slayer.
Don't know who's
going to be the dub.
It's coming up really soon, though.
I think
we will know soon.
They're probably gonna either do it a day or two before and just say whatever.
They're gonna announce. My guess is they're gonna announce because it's supposed to start on Saturday, right?
Yes, this Saturday.
My guess is they're gonna announce it sometime this week. Like, oh hey, by the way.
Or drop a few announcements here.
Yeah, throughout the week they might kind of do
space
that.
it out.
Yep.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I just want to know who's voicing Tanjiro.
That one voice actor.
There's gonna be some dude.
Robbie Damon.
Hey,
I would say they could either. Funimation has.
It's like, dude, homeboy.
Funimation has utilized both LA and Texas voice actors, so it could be any group of people at this point. You could have the LA
Bryce
crew.
Pappenbrook.
Do it. He has to.
I'm already preparing.
You're already preparing for Bryce Pappenbrook.
Aaron.
Speaking of Funimation and Aniplex, I'm waiting for them to dub Case Files now because Case Files is finished.
Case Files is finished.
Guess what? I never caught up.
Yeah.
Well, Lucien Dodge's the only
He's
one
the
who can
only.
voice
He's
Waver.
your only Waver
Okay,
Velvet. Yeah.
I'm still mad that they got that Sentai Filmworks got the Ilya Fate series and Waver's in there for like one episode, and Texas had it. So
and it's not Lucien
it's
Dodge.
not Lucien Dodge. So I heard it. I heard
That's
the dub voice, and
funny.
I'm like, this is not
That's
Lucien
incredible.
Dodge, and I cried a little on the
That's
inside.
really funny.
But yeah, so
And
Case
some on the outside.
and some on the outside, yes. And so I'm really behind on Case Files. I've only watched the first 3 episodes.
It looked really good from
It's
the shit that I've
so
seen.
now I can finally watch it because it's finished.
Nice.
But yeah, come on, Aniplex.
Come on, Aniplex.
Dub
Hell
it.
yeah.
If they dub it, I don't
Dub
care
it,
how much
dub
it'll
it.
cost. I'll buy it.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Anyway,
so
with.
I need your help with this, whatever the fuck's going on with HentaiCon right now.
Okay.
So, we were playing 14 last night, and you came across some news, some exclusive breaking news about HentaiCon, rip in peace, never forget. So, what's going on from what you can glean with HentaiCon right now?
So according to like something going on Twitter, I've tried scouring Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah.
Apparently, HentaiCon has been canceled, but they haven't officially said anything. It's just kind of. I would say it's kind of just a grapevine. I don't know
Just
if
through
it's
the
legit.
grapevine, yeah.
Apparently, according to some people, if you try to buy tickets on the website, you can't.
You
It's
can't.
just.
I'm gonna actually fact check this.
You're going to
Stop.
fact check if
I
you're
want
able
to see if I
yeah.
can try it.
Yeah,
See if you can try to buy a ticket, yeah.
Google HentaiCon California. Because that's, yeah, because I don't know.
Because that's not going to fuck up your Google
Specifically-
search.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to
Yeah.
show anything else. But,
Incognito mode.
Yeah,
but
right.
apparently HentaiCon is supposedly canceled.
Yeah.
And you can't buy tickets. And right now, from what I hear, is some people who are part of like staffers or
A
something.
staff Discord, yeah.
It's probably like there's a secret chat they have going on, like saying it's canceled. But that's all I know.
Someone be snitching. Oh, man.
So-
And you know what they say about snitches?
They get
You
stitches.
Well, you get memed on, like, Tekashi69.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about
I finally Googled him. I was curious who he was.
He looks like a fucking Skittles pack.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, ooh.
We're gonna get into the Tekashi 69
bag of
stuff in a little
Skittles.
bit. He looks like a
He
bag
does.
of Skittles.
He does
yeah.
look like his teeth are rainbow.
Like a bag of Skittles that's been left out for like a week and a half.
Ugh,
So the color's starting to fade a little bit.
Oh,
and they're not as good.
That's gross.
They're starting to taste a little sour, and they're not the sour Skittles.
Ugh.
So
That's
like,
a gross one.
yeah, right, absolutely.
Are you looking still?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I click buy badge and it just goes back to the front page.
There you go.
Wow. Okay. Developing story here.
Where is registration? Registration is inside the convention center. Hours are as follows.
But yeah, this
Friday.
con's until
Closed.
November, right? That's what it
Yeah, it's
said?
in November.
So
the
Okay.
first few days
so
of November.
it is canceled. They better
They better
get
let
on
people
that
know
soon.
and start.
But yeah, I'm literally tapping buy badge and it just
Yeah.
goes back to the front page.
That's crazy.
So we won't find
So
out.
Ken confirmed you cannot buy your
You
badge.
cannot buy
right
your badge
now.
for HentaiCon now.
Damn it! I
Oh,
wanted
man.
to go.
I wanted to look for that All My Body pillow.
I actually wanted to go for a day and do a
Yeah,
vlog
I
about
did.
it, which
I
would
wanted
be
to go,
really
and yes, I
interesting.
wanted to try and find that seller that had the.
How
All
much
My
do you
Body
want to
pillow.
bet they had minors sneak their way in there?
I bet you know what?
Well, did you guys hear originally? Last year it was originally they made it an all ages con.
Yeah.
And then they got a
It
bunch
was
of backlash for it.
all ages. HentaiCon was
Because
all
people were like
ages.
saying, like, "What are you doing? Hentai is for."
Yeah, but
18
surely
adults."
there's got to be like 18 plus panels.
Yeah, that's a-
specifically.
that's-
all
the
of
thing.
HentaiCon should be 18
no,
plus
but
panels.
but I'm saying like
yeah.
minors might have snuck in to those panels,
Yeah.
and maybe they got in trouble for
Well,
it.
the thing is, this is
I think they may have just been
because certain cons,
backlash for
certain
making
cons
it
are
all
like,
ages.
yeah, you need to show your ID, but they don't check closely.
Yeah, because I remember like last year was the first year HentaiCon was established. This is when it was first announced. They said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be all ages," and they got so much backlash. They're like, "What are you doing?
I'm willing to...
Hentai is adults. Why
Did they
not
ever
make it
change
only-"
it, or did they
They
keep
did.
it?
After they got the backlash, I think a month or two after, they said now it's only 18
It
plus.
took them that long.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know the estimate, but I'm guessing. But yeah, it took
I
them.
don't know. I don't know what could have caused that. I really don't.
Well, maybe we will. Maybe we won't find out.
Maybe we will. Maybe we won't find out. All I know is that I do have someone that I could possibly ask to see if they have more information.
But we're not gonna name drop.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to name drop, but he chilled with us at our Airbnb on day 0 at AX last year. And yeah, other friend who was the only good roommate at the Airbnb. Colin's friend who showed Meg.
Oh, okay.
You know who I'm talking about. I don't want to drop the guy's name that I'm talking about.
Literally the dude that offered to buy you stuff at
Yeah.
the table.
No, as soon as he said Colin's friend, I know. Yeah.
Because that person has...
The dude we wished was our roommate?
The dude that we wished was our roommate, yeah. Because he, I think, knows some of the people that run HentaiCon.
Yeah.
And I think he helped out, like, with staffing last year, so he could potentially have some information. Don't know. I may reach out to him to get an update on it. I don't know. Well, if nothing comes around next podcast, I might reach out and be like, "Hey, so what's going on with HentaiCon with you guys, my dudes?" But yeah, that was an interesting thing that kind of came out. Alrighty, so now that we're done with that, great transition over here. No, it's just like that's the end of the anime block. So a couple pieces of tabletop stuff. Adventure Zone Amnesty finished, and I finished listening to Adventure Zone Amnesty. I'm just going to say that I talked with you about it a little bit. Balance is iconic because that was the first campaign.
Which I restarted Balance.
Which you've restarted Balance, and you're 2 pedals to the metal already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Finally.
You could tell Amnesty's storytelling is so much better. And the storytelling in Adventure Zone Balance was really good. But I think why I feel Amnesty storytelling was so much better is Griffin found a game that worked for everyone, that everyone loved playing, and that Griffin could craft the story he wanted to tell. And it just worked so fucking well.
Well, on top of that, Balance was his, guinea pig.
It was, yeah. That was their guinea pig.
Because he had never DM'd before.
No, he had never DM'd at all before. But, it was really good and a lot of fun, and I'm really glad with the way. I'm really happy with how it ended. I think it turned out really well. Won't spoil it, but it was a very satisfying ending, and it was awesome. It sucks May had to step away to go to the bathroom because the other bit of information is something that she would really, really, really enjoy. So, I noticed something pretty great. Yeah, she's got the right idea about the bathroom. I may just call this a quick break and say we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Oh.
But actually, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick break. That way we can go ahead and
do things.
Go ahead and queue up a couple other things. Yeah, I'm actually gonna bring up the tabletop.
Go.
The tabletop music. So yeah, because we still have quite a few things. We got the what I was going to lead into was we have the Wendy's has made a tabletop RPG. We've got the meme fun zone, which we've got things with Green Day. Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi are pretending like they never worked in Green Lantern together. The I Don't Hate Millennials, I Just Hate My Son Brian article, which is pretty great. We have Falling in Autotune, Tekashi 6ix9ine memes, and Untitled Goose Game memes. We got discussion about I Love You Colonel Sanders video, as well as the latest episode of the Homebrewers, as well as the elephants in the motherfucking room that we're going to talk about at the end. However, for now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick it on over to about a 5-minute break. So don't go anywhere. We'll catch you guys in a few minutes. We're going to stretch out, use the restroom, fill up our cups, and continue the podcast from there. So we will see you guys in a few minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the HR Office Podcast live here on twitch.tv/GregSenseGamer Twitch. So, May, I'm going to pitch something to you right now. How would you like to play an RPG, a tabletop RPG game, like a Dungeons & Dragons-esque games, but instead of fighting to protect the land from dragons, or protect them from things like vampires, or the undead, or kobold armies, you fought with Lady Wendy herself.
Do I get free food out of this?
If you succeed.
If you succeed,
okay, sure.
Absolutely.
I'm down.
Well, then you would be interested in a tabletop RPG made by Wendy's, where you battle the evil forces of Ronald McDonald.
Remember when you were saying that you would think Wendy's would be the first one to make a video or game?
Yeah, I thought so. Well, they went the whole... So let me just say this is from an IGN article. Wendy's, the fast food chain best known for their square burgers and pigtail mascot, is apparently trying to get into the tabletop market. Announced via a tweet the 100-page rulebook for Feast of Legends, a Wendy's-themed fantasy tabletop RPG in the vein of Dungeons & Dragons. It's free to download and, surprisingly, not completely terrible.
Have you looked at it?
Free to download?
It's
it's free.
Yeah, it's free to download.
Yeah.
BRB, make it one shot.
I went on Twitter and I saw
my
they
one shot
were
right now.
advertising it, so it is free.
It is free.
Make
The
it my
rules
one
are a
shot.
simplified version of what you'd experience in Dungeons & Dragons 5e, so it's basically like a mod of 5e.
Which is the current edition.
Yeah. Ability stats consist of strength, intelligence, charms, grace, and arcana, and players will build characters that ascribe to an order of adventurers, such as the Order of the Spicy Chicken Sandwich that deals magical fire damage, the Order of the Baconator, which grants resistance to cold damage, thanks naturally to the love of fresh, never frozen beef. Always fresh, never frozen. You also have things like the Order of the Double Stacked, which that's pretty great. And then May's Order, because it's also a mage order as well. Order of the Baked Potato.
Maged order.
Shut the fuck up. Don't patronize me now, my dude.
I like baked potatoes.
Baked potatoes are good. Baked potatoes are fucking delicious, my dude. So
That's actually a place. That's my favorite place to get baked potatoes at. Is Wendy's.
They're baked potatoes and they're chili so good. In fact, whenever I think of Wendy's chili, I think of fucking Brad when you guys are doing my surprise party for my birthday one year after ALA, and he's like, "Oh yeah, let's go get Wendy's chili." When he already spoiled that Keita was there when that was also supposed to be a surprise. I was like, what are you doing? You weren't at AOA. Okay. I was like, let's go get Wendy's chili. And all that fun stuff. I gotta watch my shit talking on Brad because of certain events that happened in the Homebrewers.
I mean, we could still do it.
He gave me shit, like joking shit, but still gave me shit for, quote, metagaming when I'd explained the 1,000 gold of diamond.
Oh yeah, he said that
Brad.
in the chat in 14 yesterday.
And I was just like...
Wait, what?
When we were... Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
So when we were playing 14, Greg was... We do audio chat and we type sometimes in the chat in the game.
Yeah.
So Greg was talking about the latest campaign you guys had, and then in the chat in the game while we're like playing, what did he say?
Brad said, thanks for the metagaming.
And he did it as a joke, but he put it in the chat, so that's why Greg is mentioning.
I looked, I'm like, I'm not metagaming. I'm explaining something to Suya who doesn't know this. Because when I explained the whole, to bring someone back, you need 1,000 gold worth of diamonds, he went, fucking really? He's like, I thought you could just take him to a church and bring him back. And,
that's what I thought, too.
And Chrissy was asking, is that legit? And Brad's like, that is very legit. That is how it is in the rule book. And I'm like, yeah, Mira and I can confirm that's what you got to do to bring someone back. And we'll get to why we talk about that later on in the podcast when we talk homebrewers. But I heard in this game that you can, instead of 1,000 gold worth of diamond, you could just get 1,000 gold worth of 4x4s. And you'll be able to bring back your champion of the Baconator. Quick question, May. Would you play this tabletop RPG?
Yeah.
Workshopping this idea.
You're workshopping this idea. Mira, would you play this tabletop RPG? Oh, absolutely, I would play this. In fact,
I don't know what order I'd be, though.
I gotta go the order. I don't do magic, really, but Order of the Baked Potato is pretty great. But Order of the Double Stack. What
was the chicken sandwich one again?
Order of the Spicy Chicken Sandwich, which deals magical fire damage.
Are these all gonna be magic? Shit.
No, Order of the Baked Potato looks to be,
Well, you said that's a mage order.
The right? Spicy Chicken one's a mage order, and the Baked Potato's a mage order.
Yeah, not the Baconator, though.
Yeah. Baconator's just resistance to cold damage.
So that's
and
maybe
then
like a
the Double Stacked is like a barbarian.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which, oh man, can you imagine being a barbarian for that double stack sandwich, dude? That's fucking nice.
I'd fight for that.
Dude, hell yeah! I'd fight for always fresh, never frozen. Hell yeah, that's awesome. In fact, it's so awesome that apparently Sam Riegel from Critical Role DM'd one shot of it, and I'm like, of course he of all people would do that. May, are you surprised that it's Sam Riegel would be in that?
I love him.
You're not even into Critical Role, and you're not surprised.
She watched the ad supercut.
Yeah, and I'm in.
She did watch the ads.
I like to keep engaged with the 99. Does that count?
Yeah, that definitely.
I'm
counts.
just not into.
Just
you
specifically,
get the highlights.
Yeah.
You get the
Specifically
updates.
Caleb.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not really too big on Vox Machina, and I'm more.
Well, the series I hope changes that for you.
Okay. I'm more of the Mighty Nine because of Caleb and Not and Sam Riegel in there and
Sam Riegel's just
Yeah.
lost his fucking mind.
but 99% is Caleb.
exactly.
99.9% is Caleb, and is Caleb. By the way, is Caleb okay?
Yes, he is.
He is okay.
Yeah, that's the main thing is Caleb.
And you're like, oh, so
Literally
good.
anything can happen.
Yeah,
Any-
it's
anything.
all up to the dice.
He has cast Fireball way too many times for comfort. And
On
I'm just
himself?
Like, not on himself, but he's
Okay,
just cast
good.
Fireball. And I was like, yikes. But no, that's been pretty good.
Thank fuck he's not a sorcerer.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, right. Well, I'll tell you what time it is.
Wild
It's
magic
time.
is not fun.
Yeah, right. Well, it's time. It's time for one of my favorite things that we do in the podcast, and that's the fun meme zone time. And we got to start.
I've seen this.
With
I've
a
seen so many variations.
Classic
Classic
meme.
Wait, they did one for Kingdom Hearts? I saw
They
one.
did
It was
one
one
for
with
Kingdom
Roxas and
Hearts.
Axel.
Oh, I didn't
It's
see
time.
that one.
It's time for the fun zone.
I've seen the one with like
Fun.
a bunch of anime girls. Like they.
Roxas was if you work hard,
Oh,
then
yeah,
you play
and
hard. And
Axel
Axel is if you hard, then you hard.
Yeah.
So May,
Mhm.
let me ask this question: if you hard, are you truly hard?
Yes.
Mira, if you hard, then are you hard?
No.
I like the fact there's a hippo chasing the dude because I was talking about hippos earlier.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah,
That guy has every right
if
to run.
you hard, then you hard.
Get involved with intramural sports.
Nah.
No, I don't want to get involved in intramural sports. There's the Ducks again. There's that again. There's the Marvel thing again. There's if you hard, then you hard. Cool. I just wanted to start with a dumb meme.
If you hard, then you hard.
I mean, am
'Cause
I wrong though?
Have you guys seen the one with the school? The school supplies one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was another one about sail.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen that
Sail
one?
Sail, yeah. Sail
Yeah.
Sail is
Yeah.
pretty great. Is it Sasa Lily or
Yeah,
something like that?
yeah.
Sasa
Really?
Lily.
That's how I read
like
it
that
first,
one.
too.
I saw that.
I was like, what
saw
the
that
fuck is Sasa
Lily?
Oh,
You're like, no, it's sail. Okay.
It's like
This-
the whole don't dead open and stuff.
Don't dead open inside. Yeah.
Which
So-
wasn't that a reference to the chat you guys had in
Yeah,
14
I
last
got
night?
in the chat yesterday. I was like, what the fuck is up with this chat?
Don't game lag inside.
Don't game lag inside.
Oh yeah, that was Brad's thing.
So, I'm just gonna read you this one. I'm not gonna read the whole article, but it's just a fun little thing to note. We're finally in spooky season. We're in October, which means September has ended, and read a great article from Alt Press that just I'm gonna read the title was Green Day strings spike again after September ends.
Who's the singer of Green Day?
Billy
Billy
Joel.
Joel.
He is so tired of
Billy Joel.
Billy
Wow.
Joe.
Billy
Billy
Joe
Joe.
Armstrong. Wow, I'm fucking.
He is so tired of those memes, and he wants them to end, but they're never gonna end.
He wants them to end so
Well,
bad.
and you know why though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the song's actually
It's
about his dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's
It's like
kinda-
I kind of understand why he would want that shit to go
with,
away.
with the internet though, once you
when
start,
you tell him you want a meme to go away,
it's just
I
gonna
know,
get-
it's
but-
never gonna go
But
away.
at least he has a legit reason. It's
Yeah.
not just the whole like, guys, this joke is dead.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's whole Justin Timberlake. I like it when he talks about that one. The
Oh,
remake.
yeah.
He embraces that one hardcore.
He embraces.
But that one's not
meme.
sad though. Like,
That meme is just great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Rip. Do you need me to get you a tissue?
no, okay.
Oh, you good? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, let's see what other memes have we got cooked up right now. So there was a video that came out. There's another thing from IGN. So, so I guess Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi are in a movie together, and to give a little context to this, so this was a, of course I can't show too much just for the sake of I don't want us to be copyrighted. I may just like bring the volume of this down just a little bit.
Or you could just mute it.
Is this the joke that Green Lantern was so bad that nobody acknowledges it?
So they're in a movie together, and the thing here. Let me just, so they're talking about
to finally get that chance to actually be in the same thing together for the first time ever is actually
Didn't you guys do a movie together?
What?
Didn't you guys do a movie together?
Yeah, dude. Steve, who did you guys talking about? The first time.
You look
we
at
met.
Steve.
Yeah.
Or what? Huh?
Stranger Things.
Steve from Stranger Things.
The dude that was on the end.
Yeah,
Dude,
just, I gotta go back
I'll
really
be
quick.
I'll be quite honest. During this whole time video was playing, I was focusing on the text. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was
I
just
guess, yeah.
big there.
So my favorite part about this video is, like, so Taika Waititi's talking about how he got to work with Ryan Reynolds on this movie for the first time, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
just
actually
watch Ryan
Didn't you
Reynolds.
guys do a movie
for
together?
that. What?
Didn't you guys do a movie together?
Yeah, dude. Steve, who did you guys talking about? The first time we've met.
It's not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
Is Green Lantern really that bad?
It's
Yes.
not good.
Which movie was it where he was a sidekick with a dude in the car and yeah.
Sidekick with the dude.
It was an Asian dude. He had a sidekick.
No, he wasn't in Green Hornet.
Oh wait. Oh, that's the movie I'm
Green
thinking.
Hornet had Seth Rogen, not Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, you know.
Yeah.
There's too much green.
There's too many
I
like
didn't-
not great movies
I
with
didn't even
Green.
know he was in Green Lantern. I'll be quite honest.
My favorite thing
That's
about
okay.
this,
He doesn't remember it either.
my favorite thing about this whole clip is just when you know Taika
He's
Waititi's just talking about, oh yeah, it's like we finally got to work on something for the first time, and then when the chick goes, weren't you guys in a movie together? And Ryan Reynolds goes, and his face is just like, It's just like, ooh, yeah, that's it's pretty great. It's pretty good.
It's like that moment when people are asking Ryan and Hugh Jackman, weren't you guys in a movie together?
No,
For part of a movie? Yeah.
This one is just, I'm just going to read this one. So, apparently, and we're getting into politics. Oh, boy. So, Donald Trump tried to post a meme. He tried to post the Nickelback photograph meme. He's like, look at this photograph, and it's about, like, people he claims were, like, traitors or whatnot. Nickelback copyright claimed the image, so he wasn't allowed to post the image. I gained a little bit of respect for Nickelback after that.
Is Nickelback
Balance
really
is
that
restored.
bad?
So here's the issue with Nickelback, is that
Most people say they're good up to a point.
their first two records were good.
Is it like the whole Linkin Park thing you always talk about, where like that one CD nobody liked or something?
Whoa.
Or
what?
there was a band that Greg talks about, like there was one they were really good, and then they brought out a CD that wasn't like the music they normally did, and everyone started shitting on them, saying it was bad or something. One of many bands Greg talks about. I can't
Well,
tell
Linkin
you
Park
what
had
band.
that with.
Day to remember. Motionless and White.
Maybe it was Linkin Park, because you said they put out a CD and then nobody like.
I probably was talking about when A Thousand Suns came
That's
out.
probably what it was, because you said that
Because
one came,
people fucking hated.
There we go. That's what it was.
Fucking hated A Thousand Suns and said Linkin Park's dead.
There you go,
It's just
that's-
an electronic record.
Yeah.
Where's the hard rock?
So when
I mean, people are entitled to their wrong opinions.
No, I know that.
But I'm just saying that's when.
I'm not
Greg-
directing it at you.
Yeah,
Well,
I know
I'm just
that.
saying because Greg, everyone talks about how bad Nickelback is. I'm like, are they really that bad? And then when Greg said, well, they're good to up to a point, where I think that's.
Their first two records were good.
Wasn't there a band recently? It wasn't Linkin Park, but one that you listened to that you said people were shitting on the new record.
Bring Me the Horizon.
There it is.
Amo has been shit on by so many fans because they're like, this isn't deathcore Bring Me the Horizon anymore. This is all electronic. What the fuck are you guys doing? To which Ollie Sachs is like, lol, you guys are great, It's like he's proud that they put out a divisive record that people hate. He's like, I like this. This is pretty great.
It's like, it's okay, I got your money.
Haters means more. You'll get more popular.
Yeah, right? Fucking people hating on it. Which is funny because like ever since
Bad press is still press.
they put out that record, right? And they've been playing older songs again, and Ollie Sykes can scream the older songs really good now since he's really healed up his voice. It's been pretty great. It's been pretty cool. But yeah, so with Nickelback, like they were good. Like first two records were really decent. Then the third record came out, and a lot of fans were like, "This sounds just like the last record." And then the record after that came out, and they're like, "This sounds just like the last two records."
But I thought people liked it when artists stayed the same.
That makes no sense. The never-ending conundrum with music, my friend.
It's the catch-22.
You have to push yourself creatively. It's the biggest conundrum in the music industry. You have to push yourself enough creatively in order to
stay relevant.
You have to not forget where you came from, but not stifle your growth as an artist. So it's like there are bands that they grow and they kind of build upon what they did. And it's still, while the music can change, still very much has the heart of them. They basically were getting songwriters to churn out singles for them, and it was just, you could tell that it was the same cookie cutter intro, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, verse, chorus, and it's like every song was the same. And it's like, a lot of people are like, this is the same fucking bullshit.
But yet, if you stray too far and try to go too different, then people still get mad.
Then people get mad because you're like, oh, you're betraying your roots. Yeah.
So
they did that with Linkin Park.
They did that with Linkin Park, absolutely.
That which I was mentioning. So basically, it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Basically,
if you stay too much in the same, people don't like it. If you go too far past what you really normally do, people don't like it. So you just, there's just no, unless you're, I guess, like, there's no middleman unless you're really good, I guess you could
There's
say.
some rare...
Like Bruno Mars, for example.
Bruno
like,
Mars really changed what he did, but it's because he keeps growing as an artist.
And people like it. Oh, I like it.
I like it a lot, too.
Well, it's like what Mike Shinoda said. He was just like, if we keep making the same thing every album, we're going to get sick of it.
We're going to get bored.
You're going to be next Nickelback.
Yeah, basically.
He's like, it's going to drive us crazy.
Let's see. This was really funny. Going on the memes. Mira sent me this, and it's really funny. So this guy went around, and he messaged a bunch of
I saw that.
restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
I heard you guys talking about it.
There's some gold. The Chick-fil-A one still made me die.
The Chick-fil-A one. So
I like the one where he said, you guys are 3 days late, I ate it anyway, or something. The rapper.
Yeah.
The Slim Jim.
The Slim Jim one was pretty great.
Is the rapper safe to eat? Do not eat the rapper.
Here's the...
It's 3 days too late.
Here's the Chick-fil-A one, which is pretty fucking great. I love this one so much. Are you open on Sundays? Thanks for asking, Edward. Our founder, Truett Cathy, made the decision to close on Sundays in 1946 when he opened his first restaurant in Hapville, Georgia. He believed that all franchise Chick-fil-A operations and restaurants employees should have an opportunity to rest, spend time with family and friends, and worship if they choose to do so. That's why all Chick-fil-A restaurants are closed on Sundays and part of our recipe for success. But what if I'm Jewish? I mean, but what if I'm Jewish?
Well, I guess I'm not getting those chicken sandwiches.
You know,
on
they'd
Sunday.
make a lot more money if they were open on Sunday.
Yeah.
This one is another one of my favorite ones. It says one to Walmart.
Oh, God,
The
yeah.
Walmart one is pretty great.
There's 2 parts to this.
Yeah, I'll get part 2 up right now. So, I love this so much. Okay, let's just getting this all queued up and ready to go. So, he goes, hello, welcome to Walmart. How can we help you today? Is it okay to shop here if I'm Canadian? Hi, Edward. Do you mean Walmart.com? I mean store. Will people beat me up again? A guy at Target once flicked quarters at my head until I was crying. Do you have a service question or concern? If not, we need to end our chat so we can help others. Why do people hit me so often? Good night, Edward. Good night, Dad. These are pretty great.
What was the one with Thanks, Mom?
Thanks, Mom. Let me bring up the Thanks, Mom one.
I think it was like towards the end.
Oh, okay. Here's another good one. This is to Pepsi. The phone number one for Pepsi was really great. Hi, I found a dead mouse in my 7-Up. Is your company going to offer this service soon? Edward, sorry about that. Please give our friends at Customer Relations a buzz at phone number. I don't own a telephone.
In that case, please reach out to our
In that
service.
case...
I can't read.
Please reach out to this. I can't read, though. Let's see.
And it had the...
Where's the great things? See, okay. So that's
the
just a great thing.
Mom?
I'm trying to find the Thanks Mom one.
I think that's the last one.
The last one didn't have Thanks Mom.
I thought it was.
No, it didn't have Thanks Mom.
Well,
No, the last one just had great thanks, great thanks, great thanks.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I
don't know then.
No, these were pretty great, and I loved these. Mate, what happens if you don't know how to read or have a telephone? How do you think this guy can get his help?
He reached out to Life Alert.
He can reach out to Life Alert. That is true. That is true.
Some sort of text-to-speech program.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say since that guy doesn't know how to read, I can teach him how to read with. If
This
you
sign
hired
can't
anyone.
stop me because I can't read.
This sign can't stop me because I can't
No
read.
goose allowed. This sign can't stop me.
I can't read. There's a great article. I'm just gonna. There's a great article. I'm gonna skip over this one just because I didn't get to read the full one. It's an article entitled "People Think I Hate Millennials, but I Really Just Hate My Son Brian."
Man, what did Brian ever do to him?
I don't know, man.
He must have been a piece of shit, I guess.
Brian must have.
Brian was a bad kid.
Really.
Damn it, Brian.
Brian was a really bad kid. Okay, so I was reminded of this video recently.
Oh no.
So to give the context, so Travis Scott, he's a rapper. You know the clip.
That's not a rapper name, but okay.
Travis Scott.
That just sounds like okay. When I hear that name, I don't think of a rapper. I just think of some
dude
working at Walmart or something.
No office worker working a 9 to 5 job.
No disrespect to Travis over here.
No disrespect to Travis Scott.
I mean, you know, he does what he wants. He's making more money than me, so
that way more money than me.
You know, I can't
totally
really,
get you.
Just
twist the knife a little further into my heart.
I know, right? Like Travis Scott's gonna care what 3 weebs in an apartment in Southern California.
No, I mean you.
Say. Oh, okay.
Because she's like, he's making more money than I am. And he's like,
well,
you're like,
glad
oh
to
yeah, a lot more.
That, right?
Thanks.
Thanks, I hate it.
I'm just being honest.
I know. No, so Travis Scott, he's a rapper. Him and Drake did a song "Sicko Mode" that blew the fuck up. Before that, he had songs like "Goosebumps," which was on the radio and shit, like literally blew up. So this was a clip from back in.
Did R.L. Stein help write?
R.L. Stein did help. He helped write all Travis Scott's other hit song, "The Ghost Beach." Goosebumps, yes. He helped write "Ghost Beach" too, which that's not even a Travis Scott song. No, so it's from a couple years ago, and I got reminded of this clip because I've known about this clip for years. I got reminded of this clip because I caught up on the H3 podcast, and they mentioned this clip in a series of celebrities falling. So Travis Scott has autotune on his microphone, right?
Which makes him sound like a robot.
Which makes him sound like a robot, and I didn't know you could auto-tune a fall, but like let's just. That's right.
Is he okay?
He was fine.
Oh. He broke a bunch of shit.
He broke the globe that was Drake's set piece because it was at a Drake concert.
How did they fall in the hole?
The hole was just in the middle of the stage.
So that way they.
So he's walking and he's like. He falls into the fucking hole and breaks the thing, and then Drake comes behind him.
It's like
goes,
a theater.
He looks in there and goes, "That's tart. That's tart."
It's like at a theater whenever they have the hole in the stage for like certain things to either come up or in. And like sometimes you just forget where that is and you accidentally fall.
The thing is that this was a Drake concert and Travis Scott was coming out because he came out to do a song with Drake.
Yeah.
They didn't like rehearse the stage beforehand.
He probably was like landed in London and Drake's like, "Yo, you want to do Goosebumps on stage for my tour?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, let's go."
Also, lighting is really weird.
Oh yeah, lighting's really weird.
There might actually be a lot of dark spaces on the stage.
That's true. My favorite thing is just the fucking just. Yeah.
I'm just watching it happen on the bigger
screen. Oh, on the bigger screen, yeah.
And there he goes.
Yeah.
How do you get out?
He climbs back up.
Oh, it shows it?
Yeah. I have to be careful. Here, I'm going to mute it because I don't want to get copyright claimed for the song Goosebumps. But Drake goes up and grabs him. That's Tart.
Oh, he helps him out.
Drake helps him out. And then they go fucking... He's like, I'm good. And then he just goes fucking crazy. And it's pretty great. And then
I like
crowd
all
goes
those
crazy.
people with the sofas jumping.
Just jumping around. Yeah, it's pretty great.
God, do you remember when people used to bring their actual cameras?
Yeah.
And record shit? Now it's just your phone.
Yeah. God, just this...
Or the flip phones.
Right. I never knew you could auto-tune the fall. May, how does that auto-tune fall? Does it bring it's bringing a smile to your face? How does this video make you feel?
I like it that it's auto-tuned.
It's the auto-tune.
Wait, so like, is he using like a thing to help him auto-tune?
When the song itself, he uses the auto-tune not to help him sing. He uses the auto-tune as an effect.
So it's real time then?
Yes.
Oh, that's how
he actually was like, yeah. So the auto-tune is fed, so the way it works.
It's like an effect fed through the microphone.
So when you have microphones for live settings, you can add effect, like you can connect it to what's called an effects pedal. And it has a bunch of effects you can add. You can add what's called reverb, which echoes your voice. and then you could do like auto tune. You could do any sort of like effect. You
And
could distort your voice.
And that's what they do in the studio when they make the song.
When they do it in the studio, they record the vocals and they do the effect. They add the effects to the vocal track. And when they do it live, they connect the microphone to an effects pedal to emulate what they did in the studio live.
Okay.
So he's all auto tuned, and you just hear the yeah. It's one of my all-time favorite videos on the internet, and it's pretty great.
Well, at least he's okay. That's the main
He was okay. Drake had
the globe, not so much.
The globe, because the way that Drake's tour setup was like this giant globe was a part of the concert setup. He broke that globe. Drake ended up refunding everyone because the globe was broken, even though he didn't have to refund anyone.
Wait, what's the globe for?
It was a part of his.
It was a set
piece. It was a set piece for his tour, and it had a bunch of lights and.
But he couldn't
visuals.
sing without it?
No, he sang, like, he played the concert, but because he felt bad they weren't getting the full experience because the globe got broken, he refunded everyone after he finished performing the concert. Yeah. Because he felt they didn't get the full experience. Like, I'm just going to refund all you guys. So
He has plenty of money.
he's fucking...
Yeah.
Dude, he's an ambassador of the Toronto Raptors, which is the basketball team. And
yeah, he's loaded.
He's pretty fucking loaded. There was a lot of funny videos during the NBA Finals this spring when... Drake was allowed on the court since he was the ambassador for the Toronto Raptors who made it in the NBA Finals. And he's like yelling, he's like getting in other opposing players' faces and shit like that and starting beef. And it's like, dude, y'all need to chill. Like, the NBA had to step in and be like, Drake, you need to fucking chill, my dude.
You mean people watch basketball?
Apparently a fuckload of people do. I'll tell you who's not watching basketball, though, is Tekashi 6ix9ine. Because he's too busy snitching on fucking gang members and shit. No, so Tekashi 6ix9ine memes are pretty wild.
They're the new Area 51 memes, right?
Yeah,
now.
they're the new area. Them and the Untitled Goose Game memes. So I'm just gonna start with this one. Is Tekashi 6ix9ine's Pro Snitcher. It's pretty.
Jim Jones, Chef Keef.
There's Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart's in this game. Oh shit, May, would you play this game?
No.
No. No one would. Let's be real. No one would play this fucking game.
I didn't know who this guy was till the memes came out.
Right.
I still technically don't really know.
And then I just laughed.
Robot popped in real quick and said, piss poor mood today, so just pop in and have fun with your weep shit.
Oh, okay.
Rip, Robot. Hopefully your day and night gets a little better. I wish I had a soundboard and I just hit the have that on the soundboard. Another great one. This is
just send the video to him.
I'll send the video to him and be like, it's pretty great. This is another great image with the Tekashi 6ix9ine snitching meme as Lilo and Snitch.
No. It's ruining one of my favorites.
Snoop Dogg, what the fuck,
yeah,
man?
Look, he is Snitch,
He talked
dude.
about Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
or something like that.
He tried to drop some info on Snoop Dogg, which all he's guilty of now is weed.
Well, he and Martha Stewart have a show together.
Yeah, you know who didn't snitch during her trial?
Snoop Dogg.
Martha Stewart.
That's very true. She just kind of like, money
I did the
laundering and
thing.
stuff like that.
I goofed.
It's pretty fucking funny. There's a couple other ones I got here that I gotta find that were pretty funny. I don't know. This one petered out. These memes petered out a little bit for an even better, juicier, spicier meme, which I fucking love. And I think, you know what? Oh yeah. This one is my all-time favorite, the Tekashi 6ix9ine memes. So what they were memeing on is just him snitching and all of the like things that he would snitch on. My favorite one is this one. Tekashi, you said enough. I've seen John Cena with my very own eyes.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't go with the Breath of the Wild one.
The Breath of the Wild one. Okay, I do have to show that one. That was pretty great.
I like the Bob the Builder one.
Oh yeah, Bob the Builder is not a licensed contractor.
The Trump one was funny too.
The Trump one was pretty great since, you know,
His lawyer.
There's nothing more you can say, Your Honor. Fuck.
His lawyer does not look thrilled either. She looks done with this.
She's probably like, why did I get assigned to this case? Why did he pay for me?
Why did it have to be me?
Yeah, basically.
God, why you make me woman?
God, why you make me woman? So this was, I guess this was a fun fact going into meme territory. This Tekashi 6ix9ine meme you sent me was a Control-Alt-Delete comic that was recently made.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a Control-Alt-Delete comic.
Which one? The Breath of the Wild one?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's a Control-Alt-Delete. You know, he went from making the Lost comic to
Lost.
Lost.
Not Lost. That's a show.
Lost is a show. Both things make no fucking sense, basically. All right, so this is a Breath of the Wild one this is related to the Yiga clan.
Oh, I see it in the corner now.
Yeah, it's Control-Alt-Delete.
I didn't even look.
Aha, you found me. I have friends. Oh, no, it's not the Yiga clan. It's the little dude. It's the little...
Kokorot or something.
Yeah, you gotta find a bunch of them in order to get a special item. So he's using Tekashi 6ix9ine to find all of them.
Doesn't it turn out that, like, whenever you find all of them, the item that they give you is their poop? Or something?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Definitely a little...
Because it, like, basically translates to poop.
Yeah, it definitely translates into poop.
I'm surprised he was still doing comics.
I didn't even know he was still doing comics. I'm gonna be 100% honest.
No one probably looks at him anymore.
No, because it's not. Yeah, it's
not really relevant.
No.
Well, now he probably is after that.
This is not related to.
For like maybe 15 minutes.
This is not related to
15
Tekashi.
minutes of fame.
This is not related to Tekashi 6ix9ine at all, or for that matter, the Untitled Goose Game memes we're about to clown on in a moment. But I saw that you were tagged in this or shared this from anime screenshots without context.
Me?
Yes,
you.
I'm Kanye West.
Yep, I tagged.
If it's anime screenshots without context, it's always you.
It's always you.
I tagged. That is actually a legit anime, by the way.
What is the anime?
It's called Amagi Brilliant Park.
Oh!
And this guy, his name is Kanye West. He's really narcissistic. There is a scene where he looks in front of like the building window and he goes, "Man, why am I so handsome?" Jessica Calvello's in the dub.
That's fucking magical.
But yeah, this is a legit show.
I feel like Monica has talked about this show too.
I think, yeah.
And I tagged Di in it because she knows about that show. But yeah, and there's like they make their names are based off like real people, like the celebrities. Right. Like one is like Queen Latifah and all that stuff.
They got away with that.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's really funny.
I mean, you can find Stan Lee in some animes. Like he's
that's very true.
There. Yeah.
So let's jump on into Untitled Goose Game names. May, how happy have you been with Untitled Goose Game names? They've been a lot of fun. Mira, how have you been liking the Untitled Goose Game names? Well, let's just start with a simple one. We just got Honkus Ponkus.
Cute.
I need to print that out.
That's actually pretty great. It's just Honkus Ponkus.
Very cute.
It's a very wholesome.
I want to print that out and put it up in the library.
Yeah.
Honkus Ponkus.
Honkus Ponkus. Pretty fucking great. Yeah, it's honk.
It's spooky season.
It's very much for in the spirit of spooky season. So now we got this one. Whenever it decides to show up, it's not that he's evil. He lacks empathy. He goes into a dissociative state and commits atrocities.
Is this?
How is that related to spooky season?
Is that legit a thing? Like, is that from a thing?
It's from a thing, and I don't remember what it's from. But
doesn't that mean he's evil then?
A little bit.
Or a psycho?
Kind of a little bit.
Could it have been Dexter? Maybe.
I would not be surprised if it was.
Could have been. Well, we also have.
No, I tagged Dan in this.
Excalibur.
Because I figure he appreciate this.
Press Y to Excalibur.
Did you know Joe Zaja played this on his stream?
Really? He played Untitled Goose Game?
Yeah, he did.
Dude.
Because people wanted him to narrate the
goose. Oh,
he did. He did it through the. I haven't watched any of his streams, but I've seen like clips and. Yeah, he's narrated the goose. Yeah, there you go.
Here's the one that you referenced earlier. That's still fucking beautiful. It's so good. The simple, this sign can't stop me because I can't read.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
So that thing is from an SNL skit, and it's talking about a cat.
Oh!
The cat is really cute, though.
So, I love this one.
Oh, yeah, I tagged you in
fucking tagged Virgil.
Look at that cat. He's
cute.
such a cutie.
He's basically stealing the arm.
Or Nero's arm.
Nero's arm.
This is how Devil May Cry 5 started.
This is how Devil May Cry 5 actually started.
And you see that dog has the hair of Virgil.
Yeah, it's pretty on the nose, and I fucking loved it.
So it is written.
So it is written. So there actually was an update to Persona 5 The Royal. They added a new party member.
Oh,
yeah.
I want to see his all out pose.
They already added. Yeah.
Somebody did a whole thing for Smash. Like they created a
that's
move
one of the ones
him,
I'm coming up with.
Alt
right.
everything.
It's coming up. I got it coming up. I'll bring it up right now. Yeah, the Untitled Goose in Smash Ultimate.
I love how Morgana looks like he's eyeballing the goose as if to eat him.
Yeah, right. And the goose is like honk.
There you go.
That is Smash
My favorite one is lies down for a little nap.
For a little nap, yeah.
This is a little nap.
Just stick the little nap.
That's my favorite one.
He just sits there. He's just a goose.
A little nap.
Trying to find my favorite one. It's got to scroll down through. I've saved so many things for the podcast now.
Honk.
Honk.
Which causes low damage but knockback.
Yeah.
My corn slide.
Honk.
Where is
You can have a
it?
pink goose.
Trying to find.
I like the goose with the ribbon.
Oh man, I'm trying to find. Did I not save it? Oh no.
The blue one is cute too.
Yes.
The blue one is really cute. I'm trying to find
Red.
my favorite one. I gotta go on my Facebook timeline now.
Catches ring out of midair.
That was in the trailer.
Catches the ring out of midair. It's
And
pretty
he
great.
scared the dude.
The Super Saiyan deck, or the Super Saiyan goose in the bottom left corner.
Oh, he does his
That's
final smash.
pretty good. I'm still trying to.
Surprised he doesn't turn
Here
into
it
a yellow
is.
goose.
Found
What?
it.
Surprised he doesn't turn into a yellow goose.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a yellow goose right there.
No, I mean the Super
I'm going
Saiyan.
to-
Oh, yeah.
Because you know how their hair always turns
My
yellow.
all-time favorite is these.
Oh, yeah.
Admit it. You
I
murdered the
tagged
gunner
you
with
in
his
that one.
own rake.
Honk.
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 I tagged you in
I
that
love how he's got the keys in his fucking beak.
Honk.
Honk. Honk.
I want to see the pose that he has whenever he's like getting close to getting convicted.
He does the one.
He's like, come at me, bro. Yeah. That's fucking
They're
great.
the same goose, right?
Yep.
I mean, that is very true.
Affleck.
You know, it's these memes.
Phoenix is just so
You'll never
beautiful.
know.
You'll never know.
Just like that time in the game where he tried to interrogate a parrot.
Yeah, that was a thing.
I remember playing that one.
That was crazy.
Was in fact a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Holy
Squawk.
squawk. Yeah. Fucking squawk
Even
over
the judge
here.
was like, Phoenix, what are you doing?
Phoenix, he's like, Phoenix, have you lost your mind?
I get it. Your namesake is a fiery bird, but is it okay for you to interrogate a parrot?
Is it okay? Like, that is a good
Does it make
system.
sense?
That's still one of my favorite cases in the first game. Is that one?
With the parrot?
Yes.
Oh,
I
man.
love the case where he gets sick. And he's wearing like the pink sweater.
Oh, that's in trial. Oh, when he's younger, when he's in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
When he's college Phoenix. Yeah, where
I
his
love that one.
Oh yeah, when his girlfriend's trying to frame him for murder. I remember that one. Yes.
There's a lot to unpack in what you just said there, May. Like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Well,
that
he was in college.
That's insane.
that
College is a
trial
wild time, yo.
was crazy because then
Uh-huh.
it ended up leading to the final case in that game where it put it all together.
That's cool.
It was wild. When I first played it, I was like, what the
But it's so cute though. You see him in like this big
Oh, yeah.
pink sweater with like a red
I've
heart
seen
on it.
images of him in the
Yes.
pink sweater.
Yeah, that's when he was in college. He was going to be
Right.
an art student, but
He's gonna be
after
an art
after
student.
that trial, he wanted to become a law student.
That's when you see him, yeah. Honk.
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 And he's trying to frame the goose, or trying to get the goose.
Trying to
convicted.
frame the
He's
goose.
trying to frame the
He's
goose!
trying to get the goose.
I love
convicted.
that.
When did he swap personalities with
When-
Edgeworth?
Yeah, right? Oh, man.
I mean, there was. Do you remember that case where Edgeworth had to play as attorney and not
I know.
prosecutor?
Yeah.
I know.
That was
Pretty
crazy.
wild.
I want to replay Phoenix.
That was
right
one of
now.
the best trials, actually.
I know.
So,
We're getting off topic. Sorry.
no, it's all good. We've
just-
gotten.
It's
we've
related
gotten,
to the meme.
It's to the meme, so we're good. But so that's my meme fun zone for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun memes. So we just got a couple more topics. Well, and then there's an elephant in the room. So
Where?
we, I don't know. It's related to some guy named Victor. I don't know. I don't know. He has a weird last name too. I don't know.
It's a Spanish word.
It's yeah, it rhymes with an Italian dish too. So yeah, his last name rhymes with an Italian dish. I'll tell you.
We'll
after.
explain later.
We'll
Okay,
explain
it
later.
does?
It does. Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay.
Fucking what's
Keep going,
what's
keep going.
what's Garfield's favorite food?
No, I know. It rhymes?
Yeah. Maybe.
Just don't think about it too
Just
hard.
don't think about it too much. It's
I'm
not
gonna
an
keep going.
It's not an exact rhyme.
Oh, okay,
I
no
think it's
wonder.
the last part of the
Okay,
word.
no, I'm thinking about it too hard. Yeah, because
That's all
anyway,
good, yeah.
go ahead.
As long as the last bit's rhyme, that's the important part. Anyway, so we have some deprogramming from a couple.
I'll
things
be honest, I
that-
forgot lasagna was Italian.
Oh!
The real controversy.
Well, no, wait. Is it because of Hamburger Helper? Is that why?
No, I
Oh.
seriously, for a moment there,
I'm
because I
worried.
grew up eating lasagna as a kid.
And
I
you
thought it
didn't
was
realize.
like like
Spanish?
French or Spanish or something, or even
Oh.
American.
No, it's Italian. Even American.
Well, I mean, we
So
made.
we had a
take
couple.
all the shit.
We had a
Anyway.
couple video
I mean,
uploads.
we made French fries, right?
Yep, we
That
did
is true.
in Michigan, I think.
Fucking shout out to Michigan for
Anywho.
making my vice of a food
Anyway,
source.
I keep getting us trapped. Go ahead.
It's all good. So, May, you and I played I Love You, Colonel Sanders
Mm-hmm.
recently. Played for the channel. We originally were going to upload it last week.
Mm-hmm.
Things kind of happened. We were getting ready for
People got
homebrewers.
sick.
People got sick. And then I got sick. And then that was great. I'm prepping for homebrewers and stuff like that. So got delayed a week, but we got to play I Love You, Colonel Sanders. Was that game as crazy as you were expecting it to be?
No.
It wasn't as crazy as you were expecting it to be?
Well, I meant, like,
Were you prepared for how crazy it was?
I guess that's what I thought you were asking. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be pretty wild. It's anime, and
I was not ready for half of that shit. I wasn't ready for the professor to be a doggo.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, the professor's a dog.
The professor's a corgi.
Yes.
I haven't watched the video
It's
yet.
great.
I think you'll enjoy it.
You will enjoy it. Yeah, you were.
Self-admittedly, I have not watched it.
Because usually you
I
sit with
haven't
me.
watched it either.
Usually you sit with me as I edit, but you were baking for the party we went to yesterday. So like you were out here while I was editing. It was nice. Like the format was just. It was just us doing a visual novel. It wasn't too much in the editing department because it was just us playing the game, and kind of cut out some of the breaks and non-parts and parts where we needed to check how everything was recording, and one part where we had to get rid of the webcam and stuff like that. But yeah, it was. I think it came out really well. I loved playing that game. I want to do more, but I don't know how I want to play it. I don't know if I want to stream it, or if we want to play more for the channel, or how we want to do it. We've been doing like the gameplay stuff really differently, and I feel like that game specifically would be really good for a stream.
Yeah.
On top of just playing it for the sake of playing it.
We also need to finish Dream Daddy.
We do need to finish Dream Daddy because you had like a couple routes left.
Joseph.
It's just Joseph?
I think so.
No, okay.
You guys go with Damien?
Yeah, we already did.
we did.
Damien. No, we need to do Robert. We haven't done Robert yet.
Well, I mean, you did if you did that one night stand.
That is true, yeah.
That's neither here nor
No, we wanted to do his good route.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
just going with the joke because you always say you didn't do someone, but you did. How was Damien's ending? Is it nice?
It was
nice,
really
yeah.
nice, yeah.
That's good.
You found he's just a normal dude.
Oh.
He works at a animal shelter.
Yeah.
And likes Naruto Sasuke.
Naruto Sasuke fucking fanfic.
And he's never seen him. He's never gone to see a marching band.
No, but he would love to.
He wants to, though.
And
He
then
wants to
he's
see
like,
one.
you've never heard of him.
I love that it's the sign on his son's door, and he has no
Yeah.
idea what it
That's
means.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's My Chemical Romance?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to My Chemical Romance.
He probably doesn't pay attention to his son's door.
No.
Well, he
not
doesn't
really.
listen to anything current.
Yeah.
But no, I had a lot of fun doing that. It was nice to kind of tap into our roots because I think that was. I mean, in kind of just style, we've tapped back into our roots a little bit. But that video specifically was because we have a long history of doing like. I said it wrong. I said dating sim month. It was visual novel month. We did visual novel month. We did.
Although now we have to do a dating sim month.
Yeah, we did visual novel month. We did Shall We Date Lost Island, which
Just
was
play
pretty
Lost Island on repeat the whole entire month. That's our dating sim.
I loved doing that game so fucking much.
We'll just play Hatoful Boyfriend.
Hatoful Boyfriend's a good one too. That's pretty fucking fun. You got it on your PS4, so we'd be able to, I got it on PC as well. But
I
you
have it
both
on
games.
PC. And
So,
Steam.
I only have Hatoful Boyfriend on PC.
I have both.
I don't have both. So.
Well, she does, so.
There you go. But no, I thought that was. I thought
Haven't
that
played
was.
Holiday Star yet.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
What started out as fun, and then ended very wildly, was the latest episode of the Homebrewers. Mira, where were you? No, you were at the table crying at the end of the session. I was about to say, where were you when we realized that Chrissy died? Spoiler alert.
Wow.
I just fucking, oh my god.
Thanks. Cool.
Don't pay attention to this. No, if you're not caught up on the Homebrewers, we're going to talk spoilers for the Homebrewers.
Discord.
So I'm taking off, I'm going to do what, so Ethan from H3H3 did this before when they talked about Endgame, because they wear hats on the podcast. He took off his hat and said, when my hat is off, I'm talking spoilers. When it's on, you're safe to come back. So I'm going to do that for a moment. So hat is off. We're going to talk spoilers for the Homebrewers, episode 9.
If you weren't already traumatized by
If
the
you weren't
spoiler that
already
just got out.
traumatized by the spoilers. And then once the hat's back on, you'll be good to go. So, where were you when Chrissy fucking died?
Coming to get you two, actually.
That is very true. Yeah, Amaryllis was on the way. I was talking with Brad about it last night, and if it wasn't for the natural 20s, she would at least have one death saving throw left. Because he got 2 natural 20s, which are auto fails, and then he hit with an 18, and that was all 3 death saving throws. And it's like, well, fucking hell. And it's like, and Suya even asked, was that even legit, Brad? And Brad's like, yeah, I don't fudge my rolls. For this campaign, I have not fudged my rolls. Those were natural 20s. He's like, my ones were supernatural ones, and my 20s were natural 20s. I'm like, fuck. So the way the dice rolled, you know, it's like, shit, man. It was pretty crazy. How do you feel? I mean, because we're doing all we can to bring her back. Like, that's gonna be the big arc for Extra Life. Just as a production and as a story, like what? How did you feel about episode 9 as a whole?
Stress.
Well, I mean, we were looking at the vampire stuff though, as well.
All caps, bold face, underline, spaces in between each letter.
Oh my god. No, I didn't think we'd have a player death this early, and I love that
We weren't even in the double digits yet.
we weren't even in the double digits yet. No,
And this was still level 4.
We're still level 4. Yeah,
I don't get Revivify yet.
no,
Fuck you, Brad.
yeah, but yeah, it was like there's no other part to like because like there was all this stuff looking for the vampire, which that was actually really cool doing all that shit. Chrissy acting like she was drunk was really funny.
We found a cult.
We found a cult, which are the ones that killed Chrissy.
They were looking for me.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Red flag, red
yeah,
flag.
that's a lot of red flags. Well, the question that we have
Bad
is,
touch,
do,
bad touch,
we,
bad
do, we
touch.
know, do we know how many people got that hit? You know, because we're not living in, like, John Wick times where, you know, just send a text
Cell
message
phone,
to everyone. But, like, you don't know.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck. Which we gotta, are you excited to watch, May, are you excited to watch John Wick 3 tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
She's like, I'm ready right now.
Like, I'm ready, let's go. But like aside from that, like it was just like that was wild, and I think this is the most we've all talked about something post session before, and it's gonna make for a very interesting return in November.
Yeah, we've literally run through like 5 different scenarios.
We really
of what
have,
we've been
yeah.
doing.
And then Chrissy, Sui, and I were talking on 14 last night as well, which was pretty crazy. So I'm gonna put the hat back on because I don't think there's anything else spoiler wise.
Come back for Extra Life.
Yeah, so the hat's back on. Man, you missed it. Fucking, we put Brad on blast. It was pretty wild.
He yelled at us for correcting the pronunciation.
He called it tiefling.
He
I was
did.
like, it's tiefling.
It's like, can you
I
read?
think that's why what happened at the end was because.
No, because he said one more.
Well, I think he was fat. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to feed into conspiracies and whatnot. No, it was it sucks because we're not going to have an episode in October for Homebrewers, but I am going to announce that next podcast is going to be another one shot with the 3 of us, and it's going to be really good. I've already told you.
Have you been able to work on it at all?
Yeah, I've got the general outline of how I want it to go. I just need to actually flesh out how the whole thing's going to go. It's going to be way more concise this time around. It's not going to be a 4-hour thing. There's not like multiple puzzles and stuff and trying to figure a bunch of shit out. There's a direct objective, and the roles are going to kind of dictate how the story unfolds. So that's how we're going to do it this time. So, okay, so we chatted about all that. We got LA Comic Con coming next Sunday. You can see the 3 of us. Mary, are you excited for LA Comic Con? Mira, are you excited for LA Comic Con? I am excited for LA Comic Con.
It's going to be my first Comic Con.
It's going to be... yeah, well...
Does WonderCon count?
WonderCon does count.
It is. It's a Comic-Con.
Okay,
WonderCon's run by the people who do San Diego Comic Con.
Yep.
Okay, never mind.
So, it's your second Comic Con. It's your first name-branded Comic Con. I'll definitely say that, at least. And what all can we expect? May, what are you going to be cosplaying at LA Comic Con?
Penny from Spider-Verse.
Nice. I'm so glad you're bringing that back. Say, Megan's also going to be Miles, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Greg, what are you cosplaying?
I'm cosplaying
Caleb!
a blurry person in a webcam. No, I'm cosplaying Caleb Widowgast from Critical Role Campaign 2. And you. I'm so excited for yours.
I'm doing just like a really put together casual thing for Taco.
From Adventures Unbalanced, which the shit you have put together is some of the wildest shit. And I'm so excited to see that. It's going to be pretty great. Yeah, so come see us at LA Comic Con. I think that's about it. Fuck, there is an elephant in the room, I guess we're going to talk about. It's about a guy named Victor. Something about court. I don't know. I think we may have talked about it before.
Hey man, I think Fago is calling you.
Yeah, I think Fago might be calling you for a moment. No, okay. before you leave, because I do want, for the record.
Well, can she get up at least?
Well, I mean,
It's
yeah.
okay. I don't
No,
mind.
it's just
I'll
really
sit.
quick, just for the sake of the certain people that'll be attracted to the end of this video. Yes, we're going to talk about the final, what I'm calling the final chapter of the Vic Mignogna court case, because the final ruling came in on Friday. There's a lot to unpack from. There's a lot going on and a lot to close a chapter on and to talk about. May's going to recuse herself from this, and
What?
You're going to
you're
excuse yourself.
Oh.
I say recuse is another way of saying it, but it's just a fancier way of saying you're going to excuse yourself from the conversation. And I just want, because I know there's a certain group of people that even without tagging anything, they're going to find this video. They're going to watch the end of this video. They're going to make accusations against you and against me and against you. Why are you excusing yourself from this conversation? I want you to say why.
Because I don't have input or interest in talking about it.
Right, yeah. That's literally it. I mean, you've said your piece. Your opinion hasn't changed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say your opinion hasn't changed. You've said what you've needed to say, you know, and you haven't been following it the way that Mira and I have been following it. So, we told you that we are going to talk about the end of the Vic Mignogna case, and that you do not have to stay, which is why we're talking about it at the end. So, you may now be excused to go play for Go or go do whatever.
Thank you, Professor Patron.
Thank you, May, for joining us for the podcast. You can
As
go ahead
the
and
air
move the
kicks
chair.
on.
You can go ahead and move the chair over here, and you can scoot over a little bit, Mira.
As the air kicks on.
As the air kicks in a little bit. But thank you, May, for joining us. You can follow her on Twitter at Yume Joshi.
With 2 eyes.
With 2 eyes. It's going to be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. But let's see. I'm just gonna.
Oh no, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh, you gotta go to the bathroom again.
I do, I'm
You gotta be
sorry.
kidding me.
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Here, we're gonna kick it. Here, hold on. We're gonna kick it to one last quick break. So we're gonna for the people that don't want to listen to the Vic Mignogna conversation.
I'm just gonna be like one.
Yeah. It's all good. I gotta use the restroom and I gotta get something to drink as well. So we're gonna take one last break before deep diving into the Vic Mignogna stuff. So hope you guys stick around. We'll catch you guys in a few minutes. For those who want to dip because you have no interest or you're not catching up or anything like that, that is just fine. You can go right on ahead and dip. It is all good. And we will catch you guys again in a couple minutes. Welcome back, everybody, to Vic Talk. I mean, the HR Office Podcast Live.
I'm just gonna leave.
So,
You're like, no, don't leave me here.
it's been a long while since we've really had a discussion about Vic Mignogna. I think the last time we had a full-on conversation about him was back during the summer when it had been announced that he was, or late spring actually, when it had been announced that he was going to be suing. And
I feel like this is a critical role moment where everyone's asked to leave the table except
yeah,
for
right.
one character.
Can I have everyone but Mira leave the table? It's time to go into your backstory.
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
no.
like, shit. Yeah, right.
Oh, fuck no.
People wondering, if maybe, to the lovely individuals that I know who have found this part of the podcast. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope your family is in good health, and I hope you're in good health. I'm not saying that sarcastically. I genuinely hope you're in good health, and I genuinely hope everything is going fine. You may be angry at stuff that happened over the weekend, but I hope that in your personal life everything is good, everything is fine, because
It's like, please direct that anger in the correct direction.
there,
Don't direct it at people that
the
have
thing
no
is,
influence.
there are some legitimate places Vic fans should be directing their anger
No, but I'm
towards.
saying, like, to everyone on the internet that's like, oh, they're not agreeing with Vic. Oh, I'm going to direct my anger at that. Don't do that.
No, don't.
That goes for
we-
both sides, but
we
mostly
acknowledge-
just for the side that's very vocal.
Yeah, no. It's one of those things where
Because each side has vocal.
we had conversation. We originally were going to cover like a big recap last month, but May kind of said, she's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to. I don't want it to be a focal point. She said last month, she called
It's like a dead meme.
She said it's a dead meme. It was beating a dead horse. The way she said it's like, we've said what we said. We don't need to keep saying anything. But
Our opinion hasn't changed.
yeah, our opinions haven't changed. But there is a lot to unpack, especially with the outcome of the whole case. To give a very, very brief TLDR for people who maybe aren't aware of the Vic Mignogna situation. Back in January, accusations against Vic Mignogna of misconduct were coming out against him. A lot of people were saying that he was sexually inappropriate with people. There was unwanted touching,
Specifically minors.
specifically with minors. They had these kind of culminated into an Anime News Network article that I want to say, I'm going to try to find it really quick. It was uploaded on January 30th.
I was going to say it was at the end.
It was called Far From Perfect. It was an article that was written about all of the, like, this person spoke with multiple people about accusations against voice actor Vic Mignogna. This led to Rooster Teeth cutting all ties, letting him go, who later announced that Jason Liebrecht was now going to be playing Crow.
Which we've heard.
Which we heard him in the New York Comic Con trailer, and Jason Liebrecht sounds awesome. This led to Funimation, after a lengthy investigation, severing ties with Vic Mignogna, saying that they were no longer going to contract him. He was cast in a dub of a show at the time, and he got replaced by Ian Sinclair. And they said that they'd done an extensive investigation and decided to no longer work with Vic Mignogna.
I think the show was The Morose Mononokean.
Yeah, that was the one. He was casted in that. So basically, after that came out, and after the Anime News Network article came out, I would say that the catalyst was why am I blanking on this voice actor's name? There was a very well-known voice actor. DC Douglas shared the article. He shared it. He was one of the. There were a couple very small-time voice actors that kind of recounted some experiences with Vic. But DC Douglas was, to my knowledge, the first one on Twitter that shared it, had a lengthy 13-tweet Twitter thread that was saying that I was scared to share this, but I need that this needs to be I need to speak on this. I've interacted with this man. There's something up with this man. I completely believe the victims, and I believe everyone who talked to the guy at Anime News Network. that caused the whole voice acting community to come out. Not the whole.
A majority.
A very massive majority of the anime dubbing community to come out against Vic Mignogna in support of the victims, which created a divide that kind of really dealt with two sides of the camp. You had KickVic, the hashtag KickVic, which is the people that stood with the victims, which is where I've been since day one, and as voice actors themselves started speaking out, specifically Monica Rial was your last straw. We've been on the side of KickVic. I put out a video that Vic fans have ostracized me for and destroyed me for, saying that I'm full of shit and I was a clout chaser, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Not the fact that I am a clout chaser, which I'm not, and I know someone's going to try to use that as, see, he admitted he's a clout chaser when I am not. I would argue that if you make videos on a daily basis and try to get in with a certain voice actor and try to say that they're innocent and try to run a GoFundMe and pocket the money, that's a little clout chasing. But that's neither here nor there, Mr.
That's called a scam.
That's called a crime. That is called you broke the law. Well, okay. The GoFundMe stuff is just...
You broke the policies on Kickstarter.
You broke the... Okay, that's not breaking the law. I take that back. That's breaking the policies on Kickstarter. And we'll get into that later. Because there's
Which you can get in trouble for that, though.
You can... The thing is
especially because that's a large sum of
money.
money.
If you break the rules on Kickstarter or GoFundMe or anything like that, like, you have to...
refund the money.
Yeah, the money has to be refunded. But... as all these voice actors and actresses were speaking out, most notable was Jamie Markey, who recounted a situation with unwanted touching and
hair pulling, and Monica Rial, who basically recounted a moment of sexual assault, where Vic Mignogna invited her to his room under the pretense of
watching, like, looking at a video he had made for a con, or like a video he had been working on.
Someone said that it might have been around the time of Full Metal Fantasy.
I think that's what it was, if I remember correctly, because I want to say they were. I don't remember the exact timeline, but basically that was what was going on. He, under the false pretenses of checking out this video, he forced himself on her and was forcibly kissed her, forcibly pushed her onto the bed, and if it wasn't for the fact that someone came to the hotel room, could have been a lot more. Which, thank God, it wasn't a lot more. These accusations come out. Funimation cuts ties with him. Conventions are severing ties with him. Around, I want to say, April, Vic Mignogna... So Vic Mignogna initially posted an apology on Twitter, which went over as well as any Twitter apology goes over. We picked that apology apart back in, like, February, when we finally did the sit-down about...
Or at least whenever we covered it.
Whenever we covered it early on.
We've slept since then.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But, that happened, you know, my video wasn't all that important because I didn't recount any situation of sexual assault or harassment. It was just, in the brief interactions I had had with Vic Mignogna, the feeling of power that I felt from him, and how fucking terrified I was of him. Just like, I couldn't even imagine how the victims themselves felt. And just showing my support, because if I felt that in such an insignificant interaction with somebody, that speaks volumes, in my opinion, to their character. And that's why, once these voice actors finally spoke out, I spoke out myself. People give shit for, he turned off the comments, he's lying. Oh, he had the deep sigh at the beginning, he's lying. Which I'm going to say...
It's called having anxiety and recording this, like, 6 times.
It's called...
Trying to find what you wanted to say.
It's called, I had to record that video 6 times because my issue is, being the loudmouth that I am, I rambled on, and I would lose my train of thought. I even had it, like, written down what I wanted to say, and I'd go off on tangents, and I had to do it 6 times. I was still out of a job at the time, so my brain was in 20 different directions.
Job hunts are not fun.
Job hunts are not fun. I was up, that was like past 1 a.m. You were sleeping on the bed when I recorded that video.
I was awake for at least 2 or 3 of those recordings.
And then you fell asleep as I was working on that. And then I finally did the video. As soon as I saw the deep sigh, I immediately, because when I showed you that before I uploaded it, I'm like, I have the deep sigh at the beginning. Like, this is
like, people are going to pick that apart. And you're just like, well, you what you said is how you feel, and you're true to yourself, your feelings, right? I'm like, yeah. And you're like, it doesn't matter. Just post it. Post it. Of course, it's interesting that Mars Girl showed support for that video, given her colored past and controversies in history of being not the greatest person, which I think added to some of the people's vitriol immediately. I posted my video. I got shit on. I turned off the comments just for the sake of my mental health. You know, you can say all you want. Oh, he did it because he's lying. He doesn't want us telling the truth. It's like, no. So Twitter did a really good job at, quote, telling me the truth. You know, my experiences are true, and I, to this day, still stand by that.
It's more of just, like, it showed you who you wanted to interact with and who you didn't want to interact with.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, that's the reason why I turned off the notifications. And turned off, not notifications, I turned off the comments.
You muted stuff for a while.
I muted stuff for a little bit, but I just kept checking it. I'm dwelling on this too long. But this kind of recapping that I did do a video, I still stand by that video. And people like Nick Rakita, there are some kind words I can say about that man. He's lucky that I haven't done a harassment takedown on his video, because that is bullying, I will say. His video is bullying and putting words in people's mouths and trying to defame certain people. And as time's gone on, and we'll get into the reason why Nick Rakita is going to be a reoccurring character in this, is because of how he did some major damage to the whole Vic case, and is a key player as to why this case fell apart for Vic Mignogna.
I'm just gonna keep looking at the meme for the
Just
happy
keep
times.
looking at the meme for the happy times. So,
Ironically, in a court.
yeah, right. Ironically, it's Phoenix Wright. So, around April, I want to say, it comes out Vic Mignogna is suing Jamie Markey, Monica Rial, Ron Toye, who is Monica Rial's significant other, and Funimation Entertainment for...
I'm surprised he didn't go after Rooster Teeth.
I'm surprised. Here's the thing. I'm surprised he didn't go after Rooster Teeth. I'm surprised he didn't go after Anime News Network, because that Anime News Network article is when the professional voice acting community started speaking out.
But remember, he didn't remember ANN.
We're going to get to that. Because there's a lot to recap with. Because we didn't talk about the depositions. We didn't talk about what happened last month in court. And we're going to talk about how this kind of happened.
If we were to break everything down, though, we'd
be here for
like,
hours. So,
yeah.
like, I'm kind of giving this recap.
We're picking and choosing.
I'm going to skip through I'll just kind of give recap. So, in April, Vic sues. As they're leading up to the depositions, Funimation, Monica, Jamie, Ron, everyone was filed a motion to dismiss. And they were going to have a hearing about that to see if that was going to be dismissed or not. Over the summer, there was a series of depositions, which a lot of information came out straight from Vic Mignogna's mouth, which just dug him into a deeper grave than he already was. And all of that led to a very messy week before the initial hearing. I think that was the hearing to dismiss, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, because
There's been a lot going on.
He dismissed all the charges, so it was the hearing to dismiss. And Vic's lawyers had to prove why these charges should not be dismissed, and they clearly did not. So a bunch of depositions led to a very messy week before, where, amongst other things, voice actor Chuck Huber inserts himself into the situation. His name came up in Vic Mignogna's deposition about a compromise that he was trying to create. If I remember correctly, he penned a letter on behalf of Vic saying that Vic was a sex addict and he's going to go to rehab.
But Monica
on
and
the
Jamie
compromise
would have
of
to
Monica,
delete their tweets.
Monica and Jamie would have to delete their tweets and would have
drop
to put
the suit.
Well,
basically
put out a statement saying that we acted irrationally. To which Monica and Jamie said, "Not in a million fucking years are we going to do that."
And they shouldn't have to.
No. Depositions go through. That came out in the there's a lot that came out in depositions. That led to him inserting himself again with a very, I would say, a lot of people would say, very defamatory affidavit that was filed that accused Chris Sabat of running a casting couch through his recording company and
Funimation.
Which
and,
everyone said was bullshit.
Which we're going to get to that because of the Anime News Network deep dive that they did with the anonymous Funimation employees that they spoke to, both current and former, that basically said, we have no fucking clue what Chuck Huber's talking about. Chris Sabat said none of that was true. That also came on the heels of the leaked outtake reel from Dragon Ball Z.
Which had been out for years.
I will get to that as well. Had been shown at conventions as early as 2014, possibly earlier, and acknowledged, and apologies made, and discussed. And that was put out right before the hearing. The hearing happened on the 7th of September. The judge dropped 12 of the 17 charges, including all charges against Jamie Markey. She went on her podcast that her and J. Michael Tatum have, Cool Intentions, and basically had a point in the middle. It was like a 10-15 minute deal talking about what she had been through the last 9 months, and that she was glad her part was over, but was hopeful that it was going to be over for everyone. What came out on Friday, which that would have been the 4th of October.
Mm-hmm.
All 17 charges. So the reason why that there was a secondary hearing for these other 5 charges, they were defamatory and conspiracy charges, and I don't remember what the exclusive to Funimation charge was. But there were 5 charges that the judge acknowledged after clowning on Ty Beard for like hours.
I mean, he made it easy.
Ty Beard. We're gonna get into all of that.
Every time he opened his mouth, he made it easy.
Yeah. Same with Vic, honestly. But it's one of those things where he did acknowledge that there was some additional evidence that was provided by Ty Beard and Vic Mignogna that he needed to look at more to weigh more evidence, which included some of the documentation from the investigation into Vic Mignogna from Funimation, and a series of emails. It's the burning emails that Vic stans talk about.
That's Trump all over again.
Basically, it's these emails that, in the eyes of Vic Mignogna stans, were proof that Monica Rial orchestrated this whole thing to take Vic down. And the judge did acknowledge that there was some interesting wording in some of these emails, and he wanted to sit down and he wanted to look over it because there was more credible evidence to actually weigh.
Yeah.
Which is why he needed the additional time. Which he was a really good judge. You know, if you feel that there's evidence that could lean one way or another,
you examine it.
You examine it. You got to see if it holds weight. If it holds weight to the law. And what was determined on Friday was that everything was dismissed with prejudice. And let me bring up the definition of dismissed with prejudice. So dismissed with prejudice. So dismissed with prejudice means explain the difference between dismissed without and dismissed with prejudice. That's just a whole.
We're gonna have to dummy it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna say what happens when dismissed with prejudice. In the formal legal world, a court case that is dismissed with prejudice means that it is dismissed permanently. The case dismissed with prejudice is over and done with once and for all and cannot be brought back into court.
So he can't contest it, basically.
Yes. A case dismissed without prejudice means the opposite. So if the case was dismissed without prejudice, Vic Mignogna could have appealed. But because the judge saw that there is nothing that this guy could put out that had any form of credibility, this case is over, it is done, he cannot appeal. There are some people that I'm assuming would want, like, it's going to be up to Monica if she would want to countersue him for damages, but I think just the fact
I don't think she would.
I don't think she would. She and Jamie and everyone are so ready for this to be done.
Well, plus, regardless, he has to pay their fees.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's going to be a hearing.
That's
going to
be the compensation.
The epilogue of the story is there's going to be a hearing in 30 days where Funimation, Ron Toye,
Sony.
Well, Funimation and Sony are kind of an all-in-one because he didn't sue Sony; he sued Funimation. But Funimation is.
Well, he went after a certain Sony employee.
They were listed, but he wasn't directly sued, though.
He was mentioned in the lawsuit against Funimation, though. I know who you're talking about. But Ron Toye, Monica Rial, Jamie Markey, and Funimation all get to calculate their legal fees and stuff like that. And Funimation alone, you know, they got Sony lawyers, so that's gonna be.
It's gonna be a pretty penny.
It's gonna be a pretty penny. So they get to convene in 30 days and mention what all that Vic Mignogna is going to owe. Then the sentencing is going to happen, and it's done. What a court determined is that none of the things Monica, Jamie, Ron, or Funimation said or did are defamatory, are proof of a conspiracy, are libelous, are slander. It proved that there was merit in what was said. And, you know, we said we were waiting to say something until there was a big development, and this is the big development. There's a lot of stuff to cover. I completely forgot, for example, that in Vic Mignogna's deposition, he admitted to harassing Monica and Jamie, which the Vic stands do not like acknowledging, and they try to find clever ways to skirt that issue.
It reminds me of Christians every time they cherry pick the Bible.
Yeah, basically. The thing that I knew, and I'm going to be 100% honest, to give the Vic stands an olive branch, even though they're not going to believe me when I say this, but I'm 100% genuine when I say this. When Vic was suing, I told myself, if Vic comes out with some strong evidence proving that this shit is not true, then
you would change your mind.
I would change my mind. I would say I was wrong. I was wrong to believe that you did these things.
It would be another apology video.
It would be another apology video. I'd be the king of apology videos. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's just... If there was, like, some slam dunk evidence. And I'm not going to lie. When I read the first headline about the Chris Sabat stuff, I immediately... You remember in our...
I was on the bus.
Yours, mine, and May's trio chat that we have. I had dropped that headline and I said, well, fuck. And then I dug into it and realized, well, wait, hold on a moment. There's something massively wrong here. And then I read the Anime News Network deep dive.
No one is corroborating this.
Yeah, I read the Anime News Network dive. Even former employees said that is not anything. You know, the idea that Chris Sabat is the de facto manager of Funimation, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, Vic's lawyers and Chuck Huber were trying to say that, you know, Funimation was a sexually charged workplace. People would hook up all the time. There was no sexual harassment protocol or even employee handbooks. Chris Sabat ran a casting couch, and if you didn't sleep with Chris Sabat, then your career was over. And there was a female that was saying that Chris Sabat sexually harassed her for years and stuff like that. And it come to find out, with what was uncovered, none of that was true. Chris Sabat is not a manager at Funimation. The only thing he's ever been brought in out to do, other than voice acting and directing, is he is one of many creative consultants for Dragon Ball. But that's because
he's been there since the beginning.
There's a lot of people. Him, Sonny Strait, Sean Schemmel, Monica. She's been there for a long time. I know she's not there anymore, but I know for a while Laura Bailey, because she was in Dragon Ball way back in the day. So it's like, I want to say she was like helping out with that stuff before she moved out to LA. So it's like there was a big committee of people who had been working with the project for decades that they worked with in order to creatively consult to, like, does this feel natural for Dragon Ball? But it never was for direction of the show, for marketing, for who to cast, etc., etc. And they were saying, like, in the affidavit that these 3 female voice actors were not contacted because, you know, they were harassed by Chris Sabat and they got blacklisted. When One voice actress had moved out of the country to work on a film. One voice actress retired from voice acting before Kai even started. And the third voice actress, what came out, and unfair to this third voice actress, because according to Monica, her account got hacked, that third voice actress was kind of removed from Funimation. And it came out because she was arrested or something like that. There was an arrest record that was uncovered for this voice actress.
But long story short, not related to Sabbath.
Not related to Sabbath at all. All of the employees they talked to about this, quote, de facto manager status of Chris Sabat, everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's a voice actor. Mm-hmm. He's a respected voice actor, but he's just talent. You know, talent doesn't pay our bills. Talent doesn't run our job. You know? And
these are literally passion projects. They're not rich from these.
All the people that are sitting there, and like the accusations about the sexual harassment protocols and stuff like that, they're shaking their
handbooks,
employee handbooks that Chuck Huber saying was never given out, and saying
what is this then?
What is this? And then immediately turning to the page of sexual harassment. And every employee said, we took extensive sexual harassment training. And because of the fact that Funimation deals with contractors, we had a rule in our book that even if you're off hours and someone harasses you in any way, shape, or form, you're still able to take it up with HR. Because of the fact that they deal with contractors, they have to put that in. Because contractors aren't on the salary. They're not on payroll.
They're freelance.
They're freelance. They're contracted. They work with Funimation. And then they pay out the contract, and that's it. You know?
It's basically like temp workers.
Basically.
We're not hired through the company. We're brought in from an agency to help with whatever company we're working at.
Yeah, basically.
If we get hired on through the company, then we're not temps anymore. Then we're contracted through the company. But until then, we're essentially freelance.
Yeah, and the reason why voice actors are contract is so they can work at different companies. That's why Chris Sabat can work at Sentai. He could go work for 2K Studios in Austin and like do some stuff for Borderlands. He can work with Funimation. Now, if he wanted to, he can go out to LA
or New York,
or go to New York, or do some dubbing up in Canada or wherever. But that's the way they make their livings. They are contracted, so that way they can, you know, they have organizations they work with. Like out here is SAG-AFTRA, and that's like the big union out here. Which that was the big push for voice actors a couple years ago in the gaming industry, was you know, the unionization of voice acting because of the unfair treatment that a lot of these voice actors got. So me bringing that up is they have to put that clause in the sexual harassment thing, because if someone on contract harasses you, they're technically on payroll. They're technically not on the clock, but that's still sexual harassment and needs to be reported. 1,000% still needs to be reported. And yeah, Anime News Network completely debunked that whole thing. And like these Vic stands are completely not acknowledging that Vic admits in his deposition that he never took people's space into consideration. It never crossed his mind, because I think there was a line of questioning. I have to go to the actual deposition transcripts because there's so much I've read about this case.
TLDR, he didn't understand consent.
He didn't understand consent. No. He understood consent, but he never wanted to apply consent. Because
he didn't take it into account.
He didn't take it into account. That's a very good way to say it. He's like, it's good with me. Why is it not good with you?
He just assumed that everyone's okay with it, which is not the case.
Never a good thing. And then in that Funimation deep dive, or the Anime News Network deep dive as well, they really dug in on the whole like more stuff being uncovered, that there were male voice actors that were filing complaints against Vic. And is Facebook still open for me right now? It's still
You murdered the gardener with his own rake.
I forgot to close out of Facebook for a moment. Rip, never forget. So now people are like, what the fuck? Honk. No.
I thought we had gotten a bid or something. I was like, wait, what?
No, that was just a Facebook notification. No, I got out of Facebook, so we're good to go now. What was I on track with?
But yeah, he did.
Oh, there were male voice actors that were saying things. Because one of the things the affidavit was, they wrongfully assumed that he was gay. And the thing that came out was like, yeah, he was really touchy-feely with the guys and made a bunch of guys really uncomfortable too. So speculations, of course, happened because of his touchy-feeliness with guys. And then they found out, oh, he does that with everyone. And I'm like, oh boy.
Which is an even bigger red flag.
Well, there's also, and then the more recent stuff, so while all the deposition shit was coming out, was when the story about him harassing Japanese voice actors at a convention in both 2007 and 2010 came out. And specifically, the 2010 account had receipts about it. That, like, they spoke to the people who ran that convention, and they had, like, here's where we moved her, here's this timeline. They built a timeline, you know? And it's pretty wild that you have all of this stuff. Like, this is concrete evidence, you know, that there's, at bare minimum, something going on with this guy. It's not, I will tell you this. It's not full-on proof of rape. It's not full-on proof of the exact accounts given by Jamie and Monica.
No, that's not what we're saying.
But a preponderance of the character-building evidence and the accounts and receipts of him acting in this way really perpetuates that idea. And it doesn't make him look good. And what doesn't make him look good also is not showing up to court, even when he was mandated to show up in court back in September. The judge said he was supposed to go to court. He did not go to court. And
he basically said, ignore any other obligations. You have to show up. And what did he do? He ignored. Where did they say he went to?
He actually, so there was a lot of speculation. Some were saying he went to, like, there was the outlandish accusation, I will say it was outlandish, that he went to a baseball game. There was the accusation that he went to a studio to work on something. I think what it was is he went to a convention. I think that's what that was. I don't know what it was, but he claimed there was a.
We'll have to look back at the timeline.
I'll have to look back at the timeline. But the thing is
he didn't show up.
He didn't show up, and again, wanting to give Vic Mignogna the opportunity to prove himself, you're going to show up in court. If you're so hell bent on proving yourself innocent, you're showing up in court. You're doing all that you can to
clear your name.
To clear your name. You know, the example I give is in the music world. The vocalist for the metal band Lamb of God, Randy Blythe. He was arrested in Europe because a kid died at one of their shows. Mm-hmm. He was arrested, thrown in jail for like 60 days, if I remember correctly, all on his own, and he just sat there and waited. There's a whole thing, free Randy Blythe. He got out on extradition. They sent him back to the U.S., and they said, we can put this thing under the rug. We can give you basically like the Czech Republic's version of what's an Alford plea, where you plead guilt, but you also, where you say you're not guilty, but you say that they have enough evidence to
say that you are.
Convict you. They're like, you can take this plea, and you won't be allowed to travel anywhere outside the U.S. Like U.S., I think maybe Canada as well. Canada was like an exception. He said, fuck that, I'm 100% innocent. He flew back to the Czech Republic with his lawyers. They gathered information, they gathered evidence, and he cleared his name. He flew to a different country to clear his name because he knew he was 100% innocent. When I saw Vic Mignogna ditched court on the hearing to dismiss
for a work obligation.
I don't fucking care what work obligation you've got. I think proving you're innocent and that there's a conspiracy against you is a little more important than going to a convention. I know conventions can pay you a little money, but going to court and proving your innocence is going to save you a whole hell of a lot of money.
Well, on top of that, I mean, like, the result of this court case is going to cost him opportunities for work, which is the whole reason why he went to this whole thing in the first place, was because he was saying that this was damaging to his career.
It's ruining his career, yeah.
And what does he do? Not show up to court.
It does.
That's an admission of guilt.
And the Vic fans sat there and said, well, he didn't have to actually show up. I was like, the judge said show up to court.
What do you think a subpoena is? It's a court summons.
It's a court summons, yeah.
It's not an optional thing unless the court themselves says, okay, you don't have to show up after all.
Yeah.
Unless they're telling you that specifically, you go to court.
Yeah.
That's what a subpoena is.
Well, it's
It's like you can argue legal terms all you want.
Yeah.
That's what a subpoena is. It's a jury summons.
Yeah, basically.
You fucking go to court.
And that...
Unless you are dying and in the hospital and you cannot physically come.
Yeah.
That is going to be the only exception.
But the thing is, it's just with this whole Vic thing, the last bit is just, you know, and I'll admit, part of the reason why we didn't talk about this for so long was because of how vitriolic the discourse was, specifically from Vic fans. You know, I made a tweet during the depositions about Vic admitting he touched Jamie Markey unwanted. Didn't even say Vic Mignogna. I think I said Jamie Markey's name.
Probably.
I might have.
And everyone's looking for those tags.
And the following video we put out on Hardest Reset, we got a very hateful comment calling Nay a fucking idiot, and saying that, you know, this guy doesn't deserve a platform for defaming an innocent white male.
Oh no, the white men are threatened.
Oh no. And the accusations, with the judge dismissing the whole thing, accusations that a God-fearing
Christian male in Texas
is going to be prejudicial against a God-fearing Christian white male. That's fucking hilarious.
Also, why are you harassing the judge's Facebook page when they haven't been active that page in 10 years?
How bad is Scott? When so the judge, and I read more about, leading up to the hearing back on Friday, the judge, the reason why he wanted them to come to an agreement is he came in with a stack of
death
threats and emails sent to his superiors and Facebook comments and tweets and stuff like that saying, this is what's being cultivated right now.
Which,
For the sake of bringing peace, please work something out.
Which, I mean, for the people that sent those death threats, have fun. That's going to be on your record.
You send it to a judge.
And you could very well be brought into court yourself.
The thing is it's one thing to disagree with a judge or an attorney or a way something happened. It's another thing to harass a judge or harass a lawyer.
Or send death threats. Because those are serious.
Saying things like, I hope people say that he sexually assaulted people so we can ruin his career.
Or the people that are just saying, I hope he gets what's coming to him, aka I hope he gets killed.
I hope him and his family get slaughtered.
Yeah, that's not okay. That's not
pleading your case. That's
just adding to your character. And not in a good way.
Yeah, it's and let's see. There's some other things that were brought up. And there's a fantastic article from CRB.com. It's called "The Vic Mignogna Lawsuit Failed and but Fan Outrage Made It Worse." And he details a big old list of misconceptions perpetuated by one Nick Rikita. And I would argue Nick Rikita is probably one of the most disgusting beings I have ever known. And I'm going on record to say that. And I know you're watching this, Nick, because you find anything related to Vic. I know you're watching it. Hello, friend. I hope you're doing well. I really hope you're doing well. I know it's been a rough weekend for you. But honestly, the shit that you've purported, you guys yell about false and defamatory. He perpetuated fake evidence. Prime example, the Dragon Ball Z outtakes. Mm-hmm. He put that out saying that they were leaked outtakes that proved
and
the
double... And then he got it from a credible source.
He got it from a credible source.
Which he didn't name, I don't think.
He didn't name. I'm willing to bet it's Chuck Huber. I am willing to bet Chuck Huber probably had a say in at least getting him to the person to get him that. Fair but point. I'm also going to say that is just an assumption on my end. If I'm looking at the people connected to Vic's sides, that would be where my logic would go, because Chuck Huber is a part of the scene. Okay. But it's okay. But basically, it's one of those things where all of that was false, and it's it's let me bring up what it's mentioned in the article. It said Rikita also spread rumors that voice actor Chris, that's about the Chris Sabat stuff. Rikita posted several leaked outtakes on the Dragon Ball Z, featuring the Dragon Ball Z actor saying lewd things. Never mind that these outtakes and others like them had in fact been available for years at 18+ panels at convention. And it links to the IGN article talking about the leaked recordings of the Dragon Ball Z cast. And he perpetuated that this was leading up to the whole idea about, if anyone's wondering what's going on right now, Mira had to dip to the restroom, so I'm having to make sure she can hear me because it's just using the restroom right on over there. But he perpetuated this was all new stuff that had never been leaked before, when it actually had been discussed a long time ago. Here, I'll change it to that for now until she comes back. It's been discussed a long fucking time ago. And it was one of those things where you know, they had acknowledged, and I think she's coming back right now, they had acknowledged, you know, ages ago that these were things. They were being shown at 18+ panels, but Rikita is sitting there saying that this is proof of double standard. Which it's not proof of double standard. Are they shitty jokes? Yes. I'm not going to say that the shitty, lewd, incestuous, homophobic slurs that were used were funny jokes. They're not funny. They're kind of cringy a little bit. But to say that this is new stuff and that this is proof of Funimation's continual double standards against Vic Mignogna, that's false. That is false and defamatory.
Also, if they want to argue about bloopers, have they seen the Sal bloopers?
I was about to say, all you have to do is see anything Bryce Pattenbrook has said in the booth.
Which is not reflecting of his character.
It is not reflecting of his character. It's just when you're in a booth, there's a lot of shit that gets talked.
Especially because you're in the company of close friends.
Yeah.
You make jokes with your friends that you're not going to make with your family or with your coworkers.
Yeah, a lot of the
or people you meet on the street.
The fact of the matter is that these bloopers have been around for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. Then the thing with the Chris Sabat stuff.
It's one thing to not know any better, like not doing any research or anything, or just taking someone's word for it.
Yeah.
It's another thing to just report it falsely.
Yes.
And just claim that as true.
This is also from the CBR article, and I'm talking research. I'm talking facts. Mm-hmm. Talking big old facts right now. So there's a subsection in this called financial benefits. While many fans acted out of mob mentality, I'm just reading straight from this CBR article. While many fans acted out of mob mentality, attacking those who felt they were against them, others found ways for monetary gain. Some YouTubers exploited trending topics to play YouTube's algorithm, much like YouTubers exploited the hate mob against Brie Larson in relation to Captain Marvel earlier this year. Only this time, the attempts to gain money were less transparent. Rikita started a massive GoFundMe campaign to, in part, cover Mignogna's litigation costs, raising more than $240,000 so far. By the way, at this point, oh shit, here's an update. The GoFundMe is at $251,000. There are people still donating to this.
Well, yeah, because now he's gonna have to pay legal fees.
And
which is funny because I thought that thing said it was cut off.
No. They've recently raised the goal to $300,000.
It's almost like they're getting ready for legal fees.
Very interesting. Don't get me wrong. Anyway,
where did the money go?
Right. So Rikita started a massive GoFundMe campaign to, in part, cover Mignogna's litigation costs, raising over $240,000 so far. We found out over $250,000. However, Mignogna, when asked about the fundraiser during his deposition, stated that no permission was granted for Rikita to create the page. So this is from...
So Rikita basically did it on his own terms.
This is from Vic Mignogna's deposition. Question: do you have some type of administrator that would help you with that handles? Answer: no. Question: so Mr. Rikita's communications with you in February 2019 for the first time, and at some point you reached back out for him and you all have a conversation. Who came up with the idea for the GoFundMe campaign? Answer, Mr. Rikita. Question, and what was the purpose of the GoFundMe campaign? Answer, you'll have to ask Mr. Rikita. Already a red flag. Question, what did Mr. Rikita tell you the purposes of the GoFundMe campaign was? Answer, he said that he believed that people who supported my position wanted to help in any way they could. He said that he was going to provide a way to do so if they choose to. Question, and you told him you were okay with that? Question, and you told him that was okay with you? Answer, no. I did not give him permission. He had already done it.
I know this is really late. I just got an email. Anti-con officially canceled.
Anti-con officially canceled. Oh,
Breaking news.
Oh, man.
It's a long email.
It's a long email, but it's oh, shit.
Okay.
That's wild. That's wild. Thank you for the update, man. And then it just ends with, okay, did he ask permission after he did? In the days leading up to the Mignon's case, fan backlash over firing led to entire micro-industry of people profiting off of anger, which in turn reinforced the anger fans felt and offered a direction for these angry fans to direct their anger to. And in the end, it was all for nothing. This was written before the hearing that happened on Friday. Yeah. Mignona, or more specifically, those all around him, could have been better served to keep quiet if he kept quiet and waited for the heat to die down. By launching this poorly planned, ineffective lawsuit, he made himself even more of a pariah. His defenders, ironically, made him even more hated by association. And with the case closing, all the YouTubers and lawyers who financially gained from this situation will now lose a source of income. In the long term, no one benefited.
Basically, he was his own worst enemy when it came to this case.
It's
the rule of thumb. Do not act as your own witness. Do not testify for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You will ruin your case.
People basically
9 times out of 10.
People basically stated that, and we're going on long, so we're gonna wrap this up in a little bit.
Yes, please.
Yeah. People basically were stating that Vic, like that this was a conspiracy. Like his fans saying this was a conspiracy. Rikita and everyone's gonna take everybody down. All the clout chasers and all the people feeding off of this situation aren't going to stand a chance. And oh, how prophetic that situation. Let me say that
statement.
Again. Oh, how prophetic that statement was. Because to Mr. Rikita, because I know he's still watching right now, which is funny because I'm not even going to be tagging Vic's name in any of this, but they're still going to find it. With Mr. Rikita, I am a clout chaser, but I didn't ride Vic Mignona's dick all the way to the end of the court trial and make a fuckload of money doing it. If I cared about clout, when I posted my video, I would have tweeted every fucking voice actor to be, hey, look at me, I want attention. What did Nick Rikita do? He inserted himself, got associated with Vic, with Ty, and got associated with all of these Vic stands. And for what? For a case that they all ruined themselves. Ty Beard was a bumbling buffoon on the stand. The judge said multiple times, that he didn't have any evidence, and the all-famous quote of, I wasn't paying attention. Well, maybe you should. And none of his evidence was organized. Even better, which was incredible, was I learned about the evidence he presented at the hearing in September. One of the pieces of evidence was Vic's whole deposition, with the statements about not taking people's space into consideration, with the statements about harassing Monica and Jamie, with the statements about, here's the other thing, with the statements, and I didn't even get to this, about him not knowing who Anime News Network was, who Dow Dragon Ball was, which there was an incredible Dow Dragon Ball article that was written about Vic Mignona is lying, and here's why. And it was because he tried getting in contact with Vic to talk to him about it, and he wanted to be level-headed and be very unbiased. And Dow Dragon Ball had a lot of, I would say, Dow Dragon Ball had the most unbiased reporting. Mm-hmm. They reported things as they were. And you know what? There were bad players on the Kick Vic side. There was that cosplayer that had those false accusations.
Well, I mean, I said earlier, both sides have bad apples.
Yeah. There's that
I'm not going to deny that.
Todd Habercorn kind of shot himself in the foot inserting himself into the conversation, but that was kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing.
Because he explained he was in that situation when he was younger, and it's a reflexive thing because it's trauma.
The Todd stuff was a very complicated thing to read into, and that was very much more of a...
Well, even with that, like, that just sort of happened and then it went away.
That did go away. He was able to bounce back. He didn't, unlike Vic, he didn't dwell on it. He made his statements, he made his apologies, he let the people angry at him be angry at him, and he moved on. Vic couldn't be wrong. He needed to have... He's a narcissist. Vic Mignogna is a narcissist, and I'm going on record to say that. Vic Mignogna is a narcissist.
I mean, you lived with a narcissist early on in your life, so you...
My birth mother was 1,000% a narcissist. And
it's like you're not saying that just to throw the word out. No, you know what a narcissist looks like.
Narcissists cannot be wrong. They live in a fantasy world. They think they're correct. They're the star of the show. And anyone who says anything bad is full of shit.
And trying to attack them.
When you ask them why are they full of shit, they cannot prove it. They're full of shit because I'm great and I'm right. And that's what Vic did. You know, if Vic was legitimately innocent, he would have told us. He would not have said back in January on that Discord, do whatever it takes to defend my name. That was the
first of many red flags.
I know it's a different phrasing, but in this situation, that was the Discord message that sunk 1,000 ships, and all of them were his own allies and himself. He should have stayed quiet. He should have really dug in. He really should have, if he was going to sue, really challenged the credibility of the investigation. He should have really challenged Monica Rial's accounts and Jamie Markey's accounts. And a dropped ball by Ty Beard when Ron Toye can't explain what sexual harassment is, which Ron Toye's deposition was a fucking train wreck. I will say that.
To be fair, not everyone's great in court.
Not everyone is great in court. And I'm not saying he's a bad person.
He just doesn't know how to word things.
Ron Toye's deposition was a train wreck because of the fact that...
I'd also argue that his line of questioning wasn't always clear.
The thing to take into account with Ron Toye's deposition, too, was his attorney was crying foul at the circus that was Ty Beard and his organization. To which made it part of the train wreck. Mm-hmm. You know? A good attorney would hear Ron Toye having difficulty with explaining sexual harassment, and he would roll with it. And he would really paint Ron Toye into a corner, which then would create a lack of credibility for him, which then could create doubt for Monica Rial, which then could create doubt on Jamie Markey. And in presenting all that deposition evidence to the judge, can be like, these people can't get their fucking stories straight, yet they want to get my client out of a job. Look at this. These guys are bumbling idiots. My defendant is innocent. And if Vic really cared, he would have been in court saying, Your Honor, I am innocent. But it was a train wreck. It was a train wreck. And in the end, who lost? It was Vic. In a court of law, dismissed with prejudice, this case is dead. It's done. You know? All these people sat there, all these Vic stands sat there and said that, oh yeah, Vic, you know, people that were talking against Vic aren't saying anything now. It's proof that they're lying. No. We knew how to shut our mouths and let the court system do its work.
Also, we have other lives. We moved on.
You know, we never forgot.
We maybe check the news tab here and there.
Yeah.
But we had other shit we needed to do.
We didn't have to justify our existence talking about Vic Mignogna.
No.
We got attention.
We put our big boy, big girl pants on, and we did our shit that we needed to do.
We got attention from it. I would say the worst kind of attention you can get. Attention after tonight's podcast, attention I don't want anymore. You know, I know that when this podcast goes up, regardless, I know this week on Twitter is going to be hell. I know this is going to be dislike bombed and going to be comment bombed. I know it is, which is fine. I'm not scared anymore. I'm in a better headspace now. We're not shying away from it now. And the reason why I had May say what she said is I didn't want people sitting there saying, oh, she doesn't believe them, so they're kicking her out. It's like, no, there's nothing else she can say. She doesn't follow drama like this the way that you and I do.
Yeah.
I would say me more than you, but yeah.
Because she doesn't want drama in her life.
She doesn't want drama. And that's why we had her leave, so she doesn't have to be a part of this conversation. And that's why I wanted her to let them know. But, the case is over. Everything is over. The epilogue is just how much Vic is going to owe. I think Vic fans need to be angry. They need to be angry at Ty Beard for fucking up that case really bad. They need to have frustrations with Nick Wakita. They need to actually look at what's presented and realize how misled they were. And I'm going to end my part with a little anecdote, and I'll let you say what you got to say, and we'll end this almost 3-hour podcast at this point. Back in 2012, I was a massive Vic Mignogna fan. I loved everything he was in. I was a part of the Reasonable Rangers. I was hardcore Vic fan. And the summer of 2011 or 12. I think it was summer of 2012. Yeah, it was summer of 2012 because I was already in college for a little bit. The Marvel animes came out back when G4 was a thing. God, it's bugging me now when that actually happened. But the Marvel animes, I'm going to look that up as I talk about this. So, yeah, the Marvel animes were coming out on G4. 2000. Okay, so that's the anime. So that's 2010, 2011. That's these are like X-Men, Wolverine. It's been
a hot minute.
Okay, so it's the original ones were 2010 to 2011, but they aired on G4 in like a summer block, basically. And Vic Mignogna was in one of them. And I had posted on Facebook saying, Vic Mignogna's in a new anime. Holy shit, I'm fucking excited. And I had a friend that commented saying, you need to not be a fan of his. He is a disgusting creep. He is two-faced, and you need to not be a fan. And being the fan that I was, as hardcore as I was into Vic Mignogna and all his work, I didn't believe it. And I pushed back, saying, no, none of that can be true. He has a lot of people that have it against him. And she's like, dude, you need to look at this, you need to look at that. And I blew it off. I said, no, like, that's just a bunch of anecdotal stuff. Like, none of that could be true. As life went on, I started going to conventions and meeting people and getting to know people who staffed conventions and hearing more and more and more stories about, yeah, Vic Mignogna's a nightmare at conventions. Like, every staffer fucking hates him. He's two-faced. He'll literally scoff at fans that don't love him enough, and he'll kick, like, there was plenty of stories of, like, yeah, he kicked a main event panel out because he wanted to do a Sunday service. And as all this stuff was coming out, as I was getting it from these first-hand accounts, and I was looking at all this stuff, I kind of pulled back. It took a long time because I kept saying, no, this isn't true, this can't be true. Maybe he was having a bad day. You guys can't judge him for having a bad weekend. I kept trying to justify it.
That's how I was until the Monica thing happened.
Yeah. It's like I kept trying to justify it. And then finally, I think it was just pondering on it. I think around 2013, I think early 2014, was like, it's when it finally hit. I'm like, I don't like to say it, but I don't like this person. There is something inherently wrong with this person. And that's when all the homophobic shit came out, when he got casted in Free. That's when the whole Change.org petition and my first run-in with Vic happened and stuff like that. And the thing that I just want to say, I said it in my first video. I said it on the podcast ages ago. I really hope that the people on Twitter right now, the Vic stands that are defending him to the bitter end, I hope that a few years from now, you look at everything and you get that eye-opening...
That wake-up call.
That wake-up call that I got. That you got. that May, to a lesser extent, got. May went to a Reasonable Rangers dinner, and it's just there's this whole this is weird and awkward, but it makes sense, and then for me it just for years before we were even dating, I was telling you Vic Mignogna's not a good person, and you're just like, Greg, you need to chill. I'm a fan of Vic Mignogna. I don't believe what you're saying, but I value how you're saying it. And I think before we even dated, I was just like, you're under a spell. You need to wake up, and you're under his spell. And when all this shit came out at the beginning of the year, you're just like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, babe, the writing's on the fucking wall. I've been hearing stories like this since 2012 from first-hand accounts. And then finally, when I texted you, Monica Rial posted her story against Vic Mignogna, and you were seething. I remember coming home that day, and that was not a good day for you. That was when you finally went, I fucking had it. Fuck you. And, it's just, I hope that these Vic fans, the ones that are going to downvote bomb, the dislike bomb, I said downvote, this isn't Reddit. People that are going to dislike bomb, people that are going to post this on a Google Drive saying that we're full of shit and we're liars and we're trying to defame him. People like Mr. Rikita, I hope, you may have thought I was sarcastic, but I genuinely hoped that over this weekend that you had a good weekend, that you had some time with people that you loved, that you didn't think about this, that you had some time away. And I'm hoping that you're able to have that wake up call. That's all I want. I'm not going to sit here and say, and I've said some very vitriolic things, especially to Mr. Rikita and some stuff about Vic Mignogna. Do I want them to die? No. Do I want them to be held accountable? Yes. And you know what? They're going to be held accountable very soon. Vic especially is going to be held accountable, but with the failures, there's going to be a group, if it hasn't already happened, that are looking at Rikita and looking at Ty Beard and looking at Vic Mignogna and being like, I thought this was a slam dunk case. I thought he was innocent. He has to be innocent. What happened? And they're not going to have the answers. And that's all I have to say. And that is my, when I'm not a blurry camera again, that is my closing of the chapter on this whole story. And I am not talking about it. I had moved on from my initial anger about the situation, but the fact that it has now been proven in a court of law that none of these statements against Vic were deemed defamatory, libelous, part of a conspiracy. They wanted a day in court. They got a day in court. They just didn't get what they wanted because the truth. In a rare instance in the justice world, because there's a lot fucked up with the justice system.
Specifically in America.
But in a rare instance, justice was served. And against a white male, too, which is also ironic. I'm going to let you speak, and then we're going to wrap up this extremely long discussion. So, anything you want to say at this point.
The only thing I have to say is the victims won here. That's all I wanted.
And they'll be able to sleep better now. Specifically people like Monica and Jamie. It was heartbreaking hearing Jamie's statement in the middle of that Cool Intentions episode, and just Tatum being the reassuring guy that he is. It's just Tatum straight up said, I'm so glad I'm surrounded by strong friends. And he was like, I'm so fucking proud of you, Jamie. You don't understand. It's like, I've had to watch you suffer, get doxxed, get death threats sent to you. And for you, it's over. And I hope that the same is happening for Monica. I hope Monica and Ron, I hope they had a fantastic weekend this weekend.
Well, it was Monica's birthday.
It was Monica's birthday's weekend, so I hope that, and there was a lot of support too. There was the Ruby crew was showing massive support for everything. Mm-hmm. There was a bunch of voice actors that were liking things that were pro Monica and Jamie and Ron and Funimation.
Monica's fan group alone was going nuts.
Was going fucking ballistic.
She made a post saying it's over. A bunch of other people were saying, what a good birthday gift for you. Yeah. Thank God it's finally over.
I'm glad it's over. I'm glad that we don't have to... and the only caveat I'm going to give And if this does happen, this will be the start of that video. If new evidence comes out that proves this was all a conspiracy, or Vic finally steps up and says, you know what, this was right, I'm going to go get the help I need, that'll be worth covering. Because if Vic does want to come out and say, I'm a giant narcissist, I'm a giant sex addict, I have issues, and I'm going to work on making myself better, I will give him that credit. I will.
But until then,
there's nothing else to say. Or if he comes out with a big old doc that proves this was all, that we all got fucking had, I will eat my word as well. But nothing was proven for me, except that the only thing that got proven were the accusations for me. So that is the closing of the chapter of Vic Mignogna. That's the closing of the book. That's the closing of the story of this whole Vic Mignogna thing. It's dismissed with prejudice, which means he cannot appeal. So we now have another book. The book is now closed. We now have another book we got to deal with through the homebrewers. But thank you guys so much for enduring this long podcast. I'm genuine when I say to any and all Vic fans that ended up finding this episode, I really hope you're doing well. And I'm still hoping for that wake up call. Love you guys. You guys are human beings. You know, I may not agree with the person you choose to defend, but you're still a human being. It's why humans are great. We're allowed to have different opinions, and we're allowed to be nice.
Just please direct your anger at the right things, not at anyone that
you
just
can.
comes
And
at
I
you
want to
with a
say,
different opinion.
Vic fans yelling on Twitter saying this is bullshit. That's not my issue. Because how many times have I yelled on Twitter, this is bullshit? All the fucking time. Well, I say Twitter, but mainly more
You're
Facebook.
Ryuji for a reason.
Yeah, they call me the Ryuji of the group for a fucking reason. But, you know, saying, you know what, this is bullshit, you know, this is unfair, that's 100% fine.
But taking it out on other people,
but
just
going
because,
after other people, that's the issue.
Just because they offer a different opinion?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
We're running really late. We may not even be able to watch John Wick tonight.
No, go.
We have to, but because it's almost 9:30.
Go.
So, thank you guys so much. We have a Discord link down below. Go ahead and join us if you're interested. Twitter down below, Twitch down below, all that crazy shit. And we're out. Thank you guys so much. And,
Bye.
Bye. No, you guys take care. We love you guys. Take care of each other. And catch you guys in 2 weeks for another episode of the HR Office Podcast, the Spooky Time Dungeons and Dragons episode. So I'm really excited. So until then, we will catch you all later.
Okay, thanks, bye.